Hello everybody, welcome to today's Elite Dangerous live stream. It's a very special one because it's our 5th anniversary. Oh my god, I am so excited. It is incredible. Obviously, I am Paige Harvey, one of the community managers here, and I am joined today by the other 2 Elite Dangerous community managers. We have the fantastic William Flanagan.
Hello.
And we have the beautiful Stephen Benedetti.
Hello.
They've shared a very wonderful joke that I didn't hear, but that's
it wasn't a joke. It was
I
just
did a
Will's
little-
hand
little
like
slide
coming through.
like this.
He's like, because some of the other streams, Will always has to do the intro, you know. So he was still getting it in there at the end of the hand.
Yeah, it's always it, isn't it? I always have to. Oh, you do the intro, and I'll just chip in.
it's all right. I just grabbed it this time. But yes, hello boys. How
Hello.
are you?
Good. Happy birthday.
I
Happy
know.
to Elite
birthday,
Dangerous.
Elite.
Fantastic. It's
5.
And that's
5
5
years
years
old.
since the game launched fully, not since Alpha or Beta as
Yeah,
well. We have
of
public
course.
ones of those.
Of course.
And hello everybody in the chat as well. It's so lovely to have you with us, celebrating our birthday. It's such a wonderful day.
On our usual Monday live stream slot, which it dawned on me prior to the stream, like
It's almost like
it's on
we
normal.
It's
planned
Monday.
it.
It's Monday.
So we're here till what time are we here till?
We're here
Paige,
till
today?
2 p.m. We've got a special double-length stream today.
Yeah, and
which will be fun.
got a load in store. But before that, can I just quickly mention
Go
that
right
if you haven't
ahead.
already, we have a special anniversary community goal, which gets you a really cool iridescent paint job.
Which we showed off in our Thursday live stream. Last Thursday live stream.
And it's
which
also
is
on our
awesome.
social channels.
Yeah, so go and check it out and
Yes.
get involved. You get it just by delivering 1 ton or 1 bounty voucher, so it's all good.
Exactly. And the credits are inflated a bit as well, so you get some nice money out of that. As you said, a cargo bay's worth.
Cargo
Bay's
bay worth.
So all of the money and the shiny iridescent, and you get to help us celebrate. So today, as we said, we're not playing the game. We're looking back over the last 5 years. So we're
Yes.
going to be going through every update as much as I can physically fit in the segment that's come to Elite Dangerous in the last 5 years. We're going to have developer guests. We're going to look at some of the old concept art and implementation. Going to look at where rendering came from and where rendering's gone, and some audio. And then we're going to look back at the last 5 years of you guys, our incredible community, and all the brilliant things that you have done. That's why I'm wearing my special effects shirt today, because so many of you have done charity drives for them. It's been wonderful. It's seriously an honour to work on this game.
Yeah, I joined 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. You joined
6 months.
6 months
6
ago.
months
So
ago.
we're still we're not even, we haven't been here for the whole length of it. But something I can guarantee is that the community over these last 2 years, when I've been here, have been so welcoming, have just been awesome. And you're going to get to meet them when events start.
I know.
Well,
I
for the
can't
first
wait.
time,
I
and-
cannot wait. It's one of those things. He said this community's done wonderful things, and that's what's great about these streams, is celebrating them, seeing what you guys have been doing, and seeing what the game's been doing, and even being here such a short time. It's like it's amazing to see what's happened in the past and what could be possible for the future.
Yeah, of course. And I was just looking around, lots of names I'm recognising here, like Retmock, Jester D, Millstone Bar, Niku, there was a Jack Little in here earlier, lots of people.
Striker.
I mentioned like 4 people there, 5 people.
But there's a lot more.
There's
There's so much more.
But I was looking around at all this awesome stuff that's collected here. This little guy's here.
Yeah.
You just wanted to point out Little Willie, didn't you?
Little Willie up there.
He's holding a
Sagittarius
fuel
Line
rat smoke.
magazines. We've got our Corvette up there. And then on the desk we've got some of our mugs that we've collected, and we've got, I guess, 100 more.
Yeah,
It was,
What have we got
it's so
here?
good.
There's-
So that's
ooh.
my fatherhood mug.
It's a Page fatherhood mug.
Yep, Page Fatherhood. And we've got, I
The
believe, the
Burp.
Burp here. And then we have got the Buckyball Racing Club. We've got the Elite Dangerous Reddit. And we have Lave Radio.
Radio, which has a tea bag in
Which
it.
has, just so we're ready.
Just so you know.
Just in case. We're
So-
prepared.
Before we carry on to our next segment, where we'll have our first set of developer guests, we're gonna just tell you a little bit about some of the fun giveaways. So we have collected some nice prizes and things to give away to you guys for sticking with us for 5 years, and hopefully another 5+ more. Obviously, we are still working up towards the 2020 milestone. We will not be telling you anything about that today, but just hold on. You'll hear some stuff soon. So we're going to start with our Elite Dangerous Frontier Developments Paint Job Pack. So that's for the Crate Phantom, the Crate Mark II, and the Mamba. You get all 3 of them. Later today, we're going to give away a signed copy of our soundtrack. Then we're going to have, if I grab one of these, we
Can I
have
grab the other
some stunning Elite Dangerous canvases. These are going to be signed by as many of the
right
team
way.
as we can physically get to sign them.
Maybe that one.
And there's 2 of these, so 1 each to lucky winners. I love these so much. They're beautiful and they're proper canvas. And then our final one, which you're not going to see just yet, but we do have a HOTAS with pedals as well. That's our final giveaway. So
much stuff.
so
Presents.
many
Amazing.
things, gifts
Presents.
and
That's what birthdays are all
presents and
about,
shinies.
right?
Yeah, gifts, presents.
Gifts, looking back,
Balloons.
memories, bringing the family together.
We've got balloons.
Balloons.
We've got everything.
In-game fidget spinners. Not yet.
Not yet.
No, I think fidget spinners were last year, so
Yeah.
you know. So many prizes. Stick around. You'll hear about how you can win those. So let's go to our first one, guys. What do you want the people to put in the chat for a chance to win all 3 of our Frontier paint jobs?
And
Happy birthday.
well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's great. I thought you were going to
then.
go for bon anniversaire.
Bon anniversaire.
Oh, we're doing French, are we?
No, happy birthday, happy
Exclamation
birthday.
mark, happy birthday. Get that in the chat. We are going to go to a back soon screen while we get our guests all suited and booted.
Yes.
And then we will be back with you shortly.
Guys, I'm going to disappear behind the
are.
camera now, so thanks for joining us on the live stream. We'll be back throughout the live stream. I know Stephen's going to be on in a bit as well. This guy's sticking around, so you'll have at least that guy there. Let's jump to a back soon screen.
Yes.
And see you soon.
See you soon. Bye. Oh, hello again. As you can see, some wonderful guests have materialised.
We have where?
But before we introduce them, because you probably already know who they are, let's talk about our winner. So the winner of our 3 Frontier Developments prize pack, so Crate MK2, Crate Phantom, and the Mamba, is Mad Billy on YouTube. Congratulations to Mad Billy. If you could send us in an email to community@frontier.co.uk saying, I won the prizes, then we can get those sorted out for you. So congratulations to you. Don't worry, we have more giveaways coming up. But now back to our beautiful guests who are dressed impeccably, I must say. It's wonderful, it's really good. Hello, Dav.
Hello, Paige.
Hello, Dom.
Hello, Paige.
Could you introduce yourselves, just for the people who may not know what Legends of Elite Dangerous we have here?
Hi, I'm Dom Corner. I'm a senior programmer here at Frontier, and I'm the gameplay programming lead on Elite.
Boom, and Dav.
Hi, I'm Dav. I'm from Online's. Oh my goodness, how do you English? I'm from Frontier's online team here, and I'm helping to represent Elite Dangerous's server team today.
And obviously you've brought the lab coat.
I brought the lab coat because I'm on a live stream, and I cannot go on live streams without it. I'm sure
No.
it's written into my.
I think it's in the contract. I think it's in the contract. So, hello everybody in the chat. Obviously, a lot of people are recognising you guys and saying hello. We're glad you're back. So, us three, we're going to talk about the history of Elite. Now, I've worked at Frontier for 4 years. How long have you guys been here?
6 years.
I've been here about 6.5 years.
So you've both been here since the game launched.
Yes.
Which is excellent because that's good representation for what we're going to talk about.
Yes, we both helped build the game before it launched.
Fantastic. So.
I didn't actually. I joined afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Oh well, okay, Dom, but.
I was on Zoo Tycoon or Scream Ride when it launched.
When the new consoles launched.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So let's get going. So I've got loads of notes. As you can see, I have a lovely clipboard. Let's start nice and easily. So Elite Dangerous launched obviously in December 2014. It's the 16th.
The 16th,
You know,
just
5
today.
years ago is today. Because
Yep.
yeah, there you go, 5th anniversary. And obviously the game launched as a 1-to-1 scale representation of our very own galaxy, but
Yep.
1,000 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and simple. Beautiful game. This is one of the first pieces of artwork that we actually put out for the game. Very dynamic and very combat-y. But then we went towards 1.1. 1.1 was community goals.
1.0.
Oh, 1.0.
1.0, we released the game, don't forget.
Well-
We even had the big red button to launch the game.
Well, oh, okay, Dav. Tell us about the button, seeing as you've brought it here.
I just thought I'd mention it, a little bit of theatre. I remember what felt like the entire company crowding around my desk in the corner of the Elite office whilst we filmed David live streaming, pressing the big red button that opened up the galaxy.
Do you want to show the button, Dav?
Well, I mean, it's just here. It's a
there
button.
you-
It's
there
big, it's red.
Yeah.
When you absolutely need to press a big red button, this was the biggest red button I could find.
Yeah,
We-
fair enough.
And we hooked it up to the live servers, and there we go. And that was the very button that David pressed to launch
There you go. Recreate it, Dav.
Absolutely.
There you go. Perfect. So 1.0, obviously the game launched, and then we had the 1.1 update come,
Yeah,
which
community
was
goals.
community goals, which allowed the whole community to come together and work together and affect the galaxy.
Yeah, so that was where our designers were using community goals to both give players some engaging content or some repeating content, but also so that we could have global rewards, so that we could say, choose this or choose that. If you do this, then we will do that to the galaxy.
Perfect. I mean, that's continued to very much to today, and with our Interstellar initiatives,
Yep.
doing bigger and better things to the galaxy. Then we've got 1.2, which was wings. So we started to allow people to actually get together and start flying together, which was pretty handy.
Absolutely. So Wings was to try and get some more direct multiplayer. Up until that point, players could meet each other in space, but there was no direct, we must absolutely have these 4 people in this instance at the same time who want to do this one thing together. Wings gave the players a way of choosing who they wanted to play with, and then the matchmaking and the networking systems were built to support that.
Perfect. And then we had 1.3, which was power play. I mean, Dom, which update did you come into the game with if you came in?
So I joined between 1.2 and 1.3. So
Perfect.
1.3 was the first update I actually contributed any code to.
Okay.
And primarily it was for the new mission system, which we wrote for 1.3. So the big ticket feature on 1.3 was power play, but also along with that came fixes and minor other features, and also missions 2.0, which was
Perfect.
which is a big undertaking.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it's worth saying that every one of these points we read out, there's 1,000 other things that went with every single update. And Dav obviously has brought some notes as well to help me remember
Absolutely.
all of them. This is sort of like the big selling points of each one.
Indeed. 2015 was a long time ago, so
It was.
I had to look up my notes for exactly what was in each release and what each department contributed towards it.
Yeah.
Power play was a big feature.
It was. And
Still
then
is a big feature.
it's still going. Everyone's still fighting to get their powers, in control. So then you got 1.4 came along with CQC so that people could fight together,
Close quarters combat in the arena.
Yes, in gladiatorial combat.
Yep.
which was very cool.
Building matchmakers, new levels, lots of new level technology that we've reused in the main game since then.
And then you had 1.5, and 1.5 was the biggest update that we'd sort of had between launch and this point, because it had the largest set of patch notes. That's why technically it was the biggest. It had over 600 items in the changelog and the patch notes, which was insane. And new ships were added as well, and that took the total playable ships to 31, which is pretty cool. And it's only just gotten bigger since then, just bigger and better. But then 1.6 came along and smashed that and was even bigger again, because that came out with the new mission board layout and the new mission system to make the game more personal.
It's probably also worth mentioning that 1.5 was also 2.0.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
1.5 was Horizon launch, which was very exciting because it was the first time which people could land on planets. I know we're going to get to it later, but
But that did mean that we had to have planets to land on. It was one of the. It was just a lot of content that was added to the game, both from technical procedural point of view, but also from locations in the game and settlements and that sort of thing.
I just wanted to highlight it because
No, that's-
1.5, 1.6, 1.7, they're all actually overlapping.
It was
Yeah.
all the same code base.
Yeah, and it all sort of rolled into one, and that's where you kind of get the Horizons launch mixed sort of with, as you say, like the rest of the 1.5, 6, 7 updates. So you've got the overhaul with the new mission types, you had new ships, you had module storage, you had new starport interiors, navigation filters, ship transfers, SRVs, and being able to land on planets.
And the small matter of supporting Xbox.
Oh, and the small matter of supporting it. God, you're just memorising my notes now.
We were
aren't you?
suddenly no longer. We weren't just launching on PC. We were launching on a Microsoft platform as well, which allowed us to bring Elite to a whole new set of players, but with the shared galaxy to bring them all together.
Yep.
In the background.
Which was it's insane. And yeah, Horizons, I think, so I joined just before Horizons launched. So I do remember that and seeing, a planet for the first time and going, oh my God, crazy.
That's more or less what we
Absolutely
thought when we
crazy.
thought about the poor render people who had to decide exactly which triangles made up the terrain of a planet that was previously only viewed from space.
So then we go through Horizons. So the next update brought ship customization, when you could interact with the beautiful and illustrious engineers. So you could change your ships and your modules up and sort of start tuning your ship to be more individual.
Absolutely. It gave players a way of progressing that wasn't simply as binary as buying the next biggest ship or the next most specialised ship. Meant that people could customise it. And in the first iteration, if you tried to put more power through your lasers, then it meant they ran hotter. And because we knew what that would do to player ship powers, we also taught some of the NPCs how to do some of the mid-range engineering. Unfortunately, it turns out that the AI was a little bit too good of a shot.
Oh, yeah.
I hasten to add, the AI doesn't and still doesn't cheat, but an overpowered railgun was a little bit difficult to counter.
I do remember that.
Yes, and there was, of course, the unfortunate bug where they were creating their own recipes.
Yes, some of the creativity shown was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, the AI turning up with massively overpowered plasma repeaters due to that, but that was fixed.
It's all right. We sent some of our best commanders after them and got them dealt with
Yeah.
Yeah,
before
I
they
think
could cause more trouble.
I think there's a write-up somewhere on the forum about exactly what went wrong there.
I believe there is, and obviously the forums contain the whole history of the game going all the way back through different posts and all sorts of things like that. So then the next update after that, that was the very first hint of the Thargoids. We started to learn about them, just a tiny bit, just a touch. But then you got upgraded starports, capital ship dockyards, neutron stars, the new ship-launched fighters, because we didn't have them until that point, NPC crew, and passenger missions with the Beluga.
Yeah, absolutely. New ships. I remember passengers was something that you worked on quite a lot.
Yeah, so the passenger system, because it's sort of intrinsically linked with the mission system, was one of my features. I think one of the things I really enjoyed quite a lot about that, which not very many people will have seen, is the fact that when your passengers eject from your ship, they do actually eject from your ship, and you can see that. Except most of the time you're not looking. So if you look when they eject, there is actually a particle effect which plays for everybody who's in the instance
Who's
with
been
you.
ejected. That's incredible. Okay, so yeah, get some passengers, eject them if you feel like it, and see what happens.
And make sure you've got somebody watching the underside of your ship
Yes.
when you do it.
That'll be something for the Burvhit to take care of in the film.
But those are the sorts of details that we enjoyed putting in just for the just to really get a nice immersive experience to make sure the simulation was as accurate as we could get it.
Beautiful. And then, sorry.
Picking up on a comment from the chat from Commander Jack Little, mentioning a video of Zach mounting a station laser. Yeah.
He did. He mounted a station laser to
It
a
was an eagle.
sidewinder. Oh, it was an eagle, was
And
it?
I would absolutely never own up to having helped with that.
No, of course
But
you
that was for a
didn't.
very specific special event.
It was for a very specific dare.
Yes.
So then we got on to the next update, which I think was one of my favourites, which was 2.3, which was focusing on the commander, where you got to actually get your own face
Just
in the
before
galaxy.
2.3.
Oh, okay.
Before 2.3, there was a very special event that happened in January 2017 that I was going to mention between
Okay.
releases, where we first switched on the Thargoid hyperspace interdiction encounter for the first time. We tried our best not to herald it so that players would discover it as naturally as we could manage, and it seemed to work a treat.
It was very cool.
We saw how many commanders were affected by it, just because we can look at the server logs. But there was one Xbox commander I remember who managed to attract most of the attention at the time with his "wait, what just happened? What's happening?" moment. And so watching players experience that for the first time was really special.
Yeah.
As the Thargoid started to show their presence, that they could interact with us.
That was the first time I'd actually seen the interaction properly, because I had tried to do it in-house, but because I was doing something which I didn't need AI for, I turned off AI. And so that interaction required AI to exist so they would spawn in and do stuff. But because it wasn't there, all that happened was my ship turned off and had incredibly eerie music for about 10 minutes.
Brilliant. That we should just do that anyway. That sounds good.
Indeed. But that heralded the storyline that maybe humans were not quite as alone in the galaxy as we hoped we were.
No, and we're going to have a look at that in the next segment. Little teaser there. We've got some videos and things like that. But anyway, back to the commanders. But thank you, Dav. I didn't put that in there, but that's good. That was a really good time. That was very special. So yeah, then we got the Hollow Maze. So the commander creator, so that you can actually have your own face instead of just a nice black visor.
Yes, so this was us extending, because up until that point, your character was the ship that you were playing.
Yes.
And this was a way of really personalising the pilot within the ship, just to add some verisimilitude to that. And also it helped with VR as well, when you could look down and actually see your pilot.
Mm-hmm.
It also added multi-crew, I think, in
We
that release, was
did.
it?
Yep. Added
Apparently
with
so.
with 3 roles. So it started out quite small, quite babby. So with 3 different roles that you could take in different people's ships, which was pretty handy. But then came 2.4. And I remember that live stream.
2.4, yes, but between those two,
Oh, you got another thing, have
I've
you?
got 2 more things
Oh,
you've glossed
2
over.
more things.
Well, the first thing I want to mention is that between 2.3 and 2.4, we released on PlayStation 4.
We
which
did.
brought the game to a whole new collection of people who up until now were missing out because they only had a Sony platform rather than Microsoft or PC. And so that was a pretty special time when we could support pretty much the majority of the major gaming platforms. Meant we could get the game to as big an audience as we could. But also, earlier on that summer, the Eagle Eye storyline happened, where humans noticed some strange signals in space, and that was when we enabled some more Thargoid-related gameplay, where there were maybe some planetary locations that were in the game before, just sitting there ready to be discovered, but they activated, and the humans noticed that they activated, and then the players got to solve those puzzles, what you could do with them, the way that different scoopable commodities would interact with each other, how you could use them to maybe get into the interiors in your SRVs, and then get some inbox messages and then use them to find other Thargoid-related areas in space. There was an awful lot of puzzle mechanics.
There was a lot of puzzling going on. There was a lot of puzzling.
Including having the artifacts moving around, pointing laser beams towards different locations.
Oh gosh, yes. All the videos of, what is this? Why does it do what it does?
Exactly. there was science there waiting to be done.
There was, and it was done. We don't have too long left, so I'm going to quickly hop through the rest of our updates. So 2.4 came, and with 2.4 came the Thargoids, and the Aegis organization launched the massive community goals, creating the anti-Xeno weaponry, which people were working to create, and the Type 10 Defender, which I think is one of my favorite ships, just how it looks. It's beautiful. It's a brick, but it's a beautiful brick.
I love that you can optionally add a spoiler to its spoiler.
You can. There's nothing wrong with adding an extra spoiler to a spoiler. It's just like a small hat on top of a bigger hat. It's fine.
But gives it even more downforce, which is what you need in space.
Especially when you're moving that quickly. But also
Certainly.
it showed us that humans' large invulnerable starports were perhaps not quite as invulnerable as we'd been led to believe.
So, after 2.4, and there will be many things that happened in between all of these updates, but we got to Beyond, Elite Dangerous Beyond, which has one of my longest paragraphs on it, so I'll quickly get through that. So lots of new additions were added to the game, some based on player feedback, where we'd had lots of discussions with the player base, but all were focused on giving players a better experience in the game. So planets were updated. Gone was the beige plague. We had all new colours and new surfaces based on what was actually on the planet. We had the Kovas, so that you could change that up and decide how you wanted your ship to sound and how you wanted it to feel. Victor was added for free as well, so you had another option there. You had the tech broker and the material trader as well, so that you could make sure you had all the parts that you needed when you needed them. So you could actually work again with those engineers and start making your ship even better and more individual, which was really cool. But then you got to chapter 2, which is when the scouts turned up. As you can see in the top of our pictures, they started turning up and started being really annoying because they came in numbers, massive numbers, and buffed each other in combat. And that was something entirely different that we hadn't seen. We'd had all our nice big Thargoids and we had our hyperdictions, but now we had all these little guys turning up being nuisances, which, I mean, I love them. They're very cute, but they can be annoying if they get you in a pack. And then you had the Guardians as well, which was in Chapter 3, which is where we got the Guardian fighters. We had the beacons as well, and we started seeing a bit more of how Guardians versus Thargoids worked. Spoiler, they don't like each other. So you go from there. And then you have Chapter 4, which was one of our latest, biggest updates, which came with squadrons. And I think we've had over 11,000 squadrons made since that update came in, which is incredible. So commanders were able to come together and sort of focus their efforts in whatever area they wanted to go through. And Will's actually just updated me. My number was terrible. It was half that. It was 20,000 now. It wasn't 11 at all. It was 20. I'm running on old data, obviously. So then, yes, alongside squadrons, we had the exploration and mining overhauls with the FSS and planetary probes. You could identify new mining spots, you could go deep core mining, and you can get all those juicy things inside asteroids. Very good. We're going to just nod.
Well, I wasn't sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just like the somber nods at each other, like,
Just
yes.
glancing at chat, and they're mentioning other events which happened, and obviously there were other events which happened.
Yeah.
Like, there was the whole Jack's rediscovery in Colonia being created.
That was
There's all that, but we're running out of time, so
We
we can't
are.
really
Yes.
cover everything. But
No.
a lot happened.
Yeah,
So
a lot
much.
happened.
So much has happened.
Yep, there was the whole colonisation of Colonia, including the one poor commander who happened to spot Jacques after his misjump, after the players UA bombed him.
Yep.
Poor old Jacques, he didn't have that coming. So from that one event, the whole of Colonia started.
Which is now an entire civilization of itself.
Absolutely, which is much less regulated, much more independent.
Oh, yes. And much more purple.
There was indeed. We added megaships to the game.
Yeah.
And
Megaships, and then for 2.4 of megaships, we also had rescue ships because we needed something to go along with the destroyed or damaged stations.
Yes.
So while they were being on fire, we had to ferry refugees out of there and onto the rescue ships, which was, it made it feel more sort of dangerous and alive, which was.
I remember your team spending some time working on the interiors of the stations, making sure they felt suitably burny, but also such that it didn't make the consoles catch fire with all of the work we needed them to do.
Yeah, we don't want legitimate fire with our burning stations.
No.
But
And
then,
we also had a community goal from the Canon Interstellar
We
group
did.
to build the Gnosis, which has been heading off on weekly jumps to explore the galaxy ever since. I would like to admit that my piloting skills have improved with the Gnosis, although some of the first few jumps perhaps were not as smooth as I'd hoped.
well,
We got it out to the planet's surface eventually.
Well, it needed a light buffing. It was
You
fine.
jump it into a planet once.
It was only once.
Yeah, honestly, that
They
you
never
do it
let you live
once
it
and they
down.
never let
No.
you forget.
No, who let the ensign at the helm?
We'll keep an eye if you ever get hold of another big thing. Just nope, don't let him fly that into another planet. We'll keep an eye. So then obviously during 2019 we moved away from the seasons model and we had the entire new starter experience, which gave new players a safe space in which to begin their Elite Dangerous career, get their first rank, and then they can go out and introduce themselves to the rest of the galaxy. Then we had new training missions, and these were introduced into the main game, so you didn't have to go back out to the menus to try and brush up. And it also meant if you were returning to the game after having been away for a while, you can just pick up on those skills before you fly into a planet and embarrass yourself.
I was fine with that.
I'm sure you were, nothing phases you. But then we had the Advanced Docking Computer and the Super Cruise Assist and the Pilot's Handbook. So many, many, many things to give you more options when entering into the galaxy.
It was each of those were components that we looked at to attempt to smooth the new player experience. We created a new area of space. We looked at exactly which parts of the Elite experience new players were having difficulty with, perhaps bouncing off. There's an awful lot of focus testing. We got feedback from many, many different locations, specifically for people who were new to the game, not who had been along with us for the ride for the previous 4 and a bit years. And taking off Super Cruise and docking were some of the more repeatedly mentioned challenges.
Yes.
So picking off those 2 or 3 items as being improvable, we felt was a good fit for the time we had available to aid that. We had the new experience missions, we had the new voiceover text, we had the new scenario-based experience for treating people through the tutorial, which I remember you worked on quite a bit.
So not personally on that, but it was part of my team, and it was basically building upon our scenario tech we had used elsewhere in the game for conflict zones or megaship interactions, which had happened before. But this was the first time we had started applying that to our local, our offline scenarios, so the training situations, which came with some challenges just because it hadn't been taught to do this yet. But I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah, it was good.
I'd like to see us doing it more in the future, but we'll have to see what happens.
The future, who knows? Very nebulous, but people will start to learn in the future.
Indeed, not our department. We have an entire design and production team who worry about that.
So obviously what we've talked about in this segment, obviously there's so much more, and I mean we've got pages upon pages of notes about. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what's been added, changed, balanced, addressed, removed, updated, fixed.
Indeed, it's
So much.
summarising many, many hundreds of people's of work from
Yes.
5 years into 10 minutes. We're always going to miss something out, or maybe not do something super justice. But
Well, there will be a forum post going up on our forums once we are done with the live stream, so you'll be able to read up on a lot more of these things, catch up with anything that we've left out, and share some of your best moments and memories, which we would love to invite you guys to do. But as you said, we released on Xbox and PS4. We supported different HOTAS and VR. We've had competitions. We've seen squadrons fight against each other. The community has come together for every single one of these updates to help each other out and to just make such a wonderful, vibrant game. Do you guys have anything that you want to say to the community, or?
keep doing what you're doing. Elite Dangerous is a game, but it is also a slice of everybody's life who've played the game and shared their experiences with us over 5 years. Like anything that we've done to make it easy for you to tell your own stories, such as when we added the external camera suite, which meant that videographers could suddenly start describing their stories more visually rather than through the roof of a Sidewinder. It's the stories that the community tell. It's the moments of life that they shared within it that really made the game what it is today. So please keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Anything from you, Dom? Or?
I think Dav's basically covered most of what I was going to say, but yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, keep telling us what you like, what you don't like, and we'll continue developing this.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, before I let you go, we do have one last thing to do, and that is to start our next giveaway, which is very cool. So, Dom, could you grab that soundtrack right there? So, for this giveaway, we are going to be giving away a beautiful Elite Dangerous soundtrack. We're going to be signing it before we send it off. Don't worry, it's going to be very beautiful and very unique. Gentlemen, what would you like the people to put in the chat for a chance to win the soundtrack?
You get to choose.
I don't know.
Okay, in that case, please write "I don't know" in the chat for your chance to get the soundtrack.
Exclamation mark, I don't know, for a chance to win a signed soundtrack. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming along and hanging out, and happy birthday, technically.
Happy birthday to Elite Dangerous.
Happy birthday to
Happy
Elite
birthday
Dangerous.
to Elite Dangerous.
Thank you so much, guys. We're going to go to a back soon screen while we get our next guest all ready to come and chat with us for a little bit, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
See you later. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back for our next segment. We have some brilliant guests, but before we get to them, we have the winner of our soundtrack. This will be signed up as well, and the winner is Jeremy Wilson on YouTube. So congratulations, Jeremy. To claim your prize, could you send an email into community@frontier.co.uk with "I won the soundtrack," and we will get that sorted out for you as soon as possible. So this next segment, we've had a look back at the last 5 years, but now we want to have a look at a few more specific things. So we've got 5 of our favourite sort of moments, parts of the game, and we have got 2 wonderful guests with us. We have Joe Hogan and we have Kay Ross. Hello, you two.
Hi.
How are you both doing today?
Very good. Fantastic. Thank you.
Well. All good. So would you like to introduce yourselves for people who may not know who you are?
Okay, I'll go first, shall I?
Yep.
Hello, I'm Kay. I've been on a few of the streams before. I'm the lead render programmer on Elite Dangerous. I started off as a gameplay programmer back in 2013. I've been here ever since, doing gameplay, then render, and then running the team.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay.
And hello, Joe.
Hello. So I'm Joe. I'm a principal audio designer on Elite. I've been working on the project for 6 years. Get to work with a lot of extremely creative people and have a lot of fun.
Awesome. So we had a meeting obviously before the stream, and we came up with some of the bits we wanted to talk about, some of our favourite bits of sound, some of our favourite imagery, and some of our favourite updates from the last 5 years. So let's start with the FSD jump. You know, it's one of those things that you see 1,000 times throughout your Elite Dangerous career, sometimes 1,000 times in a couple of play sessions, depending where you're going or what you're doing. And it's remained, I mean, virtually unchanged since the game launched.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A few tweaks, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
A bit more visual than audio.
Yeah, so there was some sprucing up of some of the particle and VFX going on and going through the tunnel. There was a bit of a change. I don't remember the exact update. We wanted to tie in normal space and witch space a little closer, so we made the background stars that you see fade into the two as if you're blending into witch space, and added the destination star, slowly going brighter and brighter as you're getting towards it. So small visual updates which help tie everything together.
And I did see a couple of Reddit threads last week of some people who are trying to find Raxler by going through that and trying to judge whether the star they see is always going to be the correct star they get to. That is always going to be the case, isn't it? So I'm afraid that... Well, dang it, Kay. But yes, so that's mostly changed visually, not really in an audio way. And it's a really special moment in the game, I think, because it's one of those things that you will see 1,000 times, but I've personally never gone, oh, it's this again. Like, I've always thought, oh, this is pretty, or oh, this sounds fun. It's always been pretty cool there, but it was quite technically challenging, wasn't it, from a I guess a render standpoint?
Oh, sorry. Apparently my necklace is getting on the microphone. Let's just put that backwards there.
Are you clinking?
Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, the so in the FSD it's quite a visual thing. There's a lot of bright colours going past. But I think it's the audio, I think, which really gives you the sense that you are somewhere different. You're somewhere not quite in your gameplay environment. So I think kudos has to go there. Other than audio.
Thank you.
And sorry, the jump. It was nominated for the Best Gaming Moment Award in 2015, Golden Joysticks, which was like you told me about, Joe, because you were super proud of that, and it's still something you hold on to. I mean, what did you think sort of when we got nominated for that?
Yeah, it was, what? Really? Cool.
And I mean, we only lost out to The Witcher 3, which I think we can all agree that's not a bad thing to have lost out to. So, I mean, I believe we have a video for this, or we have a clip for this one. So if we can go to that.
Frameshift drive charging.
And there you go. I mean, you'll have seen it 1,000 times, but it's still just as beautiful to me as the first time I saw it. And I mean, Joe, I think you've got some more notes on this for us?
Yeah, well, just a couple of things. Like you've mentioned a few times how you haven't got sick of it, and that was always a consideration. That, like, sound designers just have that in their mind all the time. Like, how annoying is this sound going to get when I've heard it 1,000 times? And the hyperspace tunnel, we always knew right from the off that if you're traveling a long distance or whatever, then you would encounter this many times per session. So yeah, that was always a consideration. We need to make this a really cool, really powerful. It's a hero moment, but it needs to not get annoying, and there's quite a bit of a balancing act to get that right. The other thing I was going to say was you mentioned witch space, and it's kind of, it's in the Elite lore that it's kind of like the legend is that pilots think it's haunted. There's like the ghosts of lost pilots within witch space, which is why creatively the sound design, you kind of loses energy when you get into the tunnel and it's just stuff buzzing past you. It's not the sound of your ship anymore. It's almost like you're gliding and you can hear these kind of mysterious whispering and stuff like that. So that's the idea behind that.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I like it though. It is cool. And Kay, was there anything else you wanted to add on sort of the FSD? No is okay as well.
I just love the moment when the star comes into view at the end.
Away from the rendering point of view, just technically behind the scenes, Stellaforge has to do a lot of stuff whilst you're in that tunnel. It's constructing the new star system you're going to, it's having to drop the unneeded data from the previous star system. So a lot of work did go into the code behind the scenes to make sure that goes as smoothly as possible. So we have, as I was saying before, that transition as smooth as we can from one system to the next and via the witch space.
It's definitely improved.
Kudos to the engineers.
Yeah, it's definitely improved over time as well. It's a lot smoother than it used to be, and now it's a lot prettier as well. So very good work, everybody. So that was our first like big favourite moment of the game, and then we're on to the second one, which I know is one of Kay's favourites.
Yeah.
Because Kay always lamented the beige plague. Oh, the beige. It came about because, I mean, it was what we were showing on the planets was trying to show what materials and things you could get. And that came with the updates that we talked about in our last segment. But we went on and improved a lot of the planets from like the old concept art, as you can see there, which is very sort of monochromatic, as it were, into huge, vibrant, gorgeous, look at it, it's crazy. It's beautiful, but it's crazy. I mean, Kay, so what did you, how did the planets sort of come to be?
Well, through the very, very hard work of a programmer who used to be here, Oscar Sebia. So if you're watching, Oscar, thank you so much. You're a star, you're amazing. Those were what we call the V1 planets initially, which were things you can't approach. They're graphics generated and displayed on a sphere you can't approach. It's just the image. However, V2, when Horizons came along, those were the planets with terrain on. And Elite Dangerous is, and always has been, always will be, a champion of procedural generation and what we can produce from mathematics and models and science. But it has been a learning process with that about what is the balance between artist input and just pure mathematical functions. So when Horizons first came out, the images on the terrain, the textures on the terrain itself were, oh, it looks like a rock, but it's not exactly a rock, because we were essentially creating rocks just with maths, and that's quite calculation intensive as well. So it's been that working with the artists, those optimizations over time, we started being able to use actual texture assets blended in with this procedural generation. We have nice looking textures. But as for the coloration, as I say, science has always been a cornerstone of Elite Dangerous. A lot of the non-metallic planetary materials you'll find out there, if you looked at them under plain light and no false colouring, are a little beige. And that compounded with some of the colorations of light we have in the game, whilst it might have been accurate, might not have been the best gameplay environment. So we listen to the feedback, we look at what we could do, we make alternate plans, and ended up with something a bit more vibrant, a bit more colourful today.
So as based in realism as we can, but with a little gaming flourish added on top.
Yes, something to fit the rest of the game.
Beautiful. And then the next bit that we have to talk about, still in the same sort of area, is Asteroids. Now, I know we have a video that we're going to chat about while it's playing. And what the video that we have is one of the earliest pieces of gameplay that we put out. And this is where David Braben and one of our lead programmers, Igor, were in a fight among an early asteroid ring. And it's one of our oldest development diaries. And, I mean, look at it. It's, for what it was at the time, it was staggering. And then I think of what our rings look like now, and I'm like, whoa, like, where's the fog? Why doesn't it feel cold? Like, and I love this video. We sat there and all watched it again last week, and it was we had a great time looking at this, going, look how far it's come.
I just love those potatoes.
Oh, the potatoes are that's my pancake planet, I believe. I love it, but this was 2013, I believe, this video. But it's so good. And then obviously, Kay, what have we changed with the asteroids, going from this to what we know now? We have some screenshots of those as well.
Oh, so
look
much.
at that.
So not just the asteroids, but the lighting system, the lighting calculations were improved. The way the surface materials respond to it improve. There's less of that shiny potato skin sheen. Of course, the artist did a great job of modelling better and more varied asteroids. We use different asteroid models and textures depending on the asteroid field itself, so they're not all the same. And of course, the massive difference there, the fog, the small particulate matter in the ring field, which itself has changed over time, adding more voluminous detail, adding the shafts of shadow in the more recent updates. And of course, some of these asteroids are now explodable, so that we can pilfer the insides.
Yes, and I mean, obviously, when you go really close to one of those as well, depending what kind of ring you're in, it can like basically freeze your ship. It'll just drop you like to just so cold, and it's gone from sort of your old sort of potatoes, as you said, to these gorgeous sort of shadowy, icy. They feel very cold and atmospheric, and I love them. It's beautiful. One of my favourite places to go is into an asteroid ring and just sort of flit about for a while. And yeah, I love it. It's so good. It's so good. So good job, team. Well done.
Yes.
So the next thing we have to talk about is the Thargoids. Now this is one we all had a lot of fun talking about when we were planning for this stream, because the Thargoids have been a staple since 1986. Years and years and years and years and years, from simple tiny little wireframes to the terrifying monsters that we have today, and there are so many of them, and it's absolutely crazy. I mean, what were the challenges that we had when actually making them come to life, because they move a lot different to other things?
Oh, they move very differently, they look very differently, and they sound incredibly different. So I think sound, again, is one of the major components into this. I'll let Joe speak about, if you'd like to.
Yeah, so just the sound of them, the idea was that it just needs to be as alien as possible. It needs to be completely unfamiliar in sense of that it doesn't sound like any existing ship or technology that we have in the game already, and kind of deeply unsettling as well, and frightening.
Like they really are. When you first get hype addicted, it's almost got like a horror feeling to it. It's that I'm hiding and there's something coming up behind me and I don't quite know what it is. Yeah. And I mean, so when we were developing the audio for the Thargoids, what were we trying to capture with those?
Trying to scare the player, basically.
Cool.
So I mean, the first thing we worked on was the hyperdiction sequence, and one of the coolest things about it, in my opinion, is we've taken something really familiar to the player, which is a hyperspace jump, and then we've turned it on his head and made it frightening, basically. Yeah. So the idea is that, it starts off like a normal hyperspace jump, and then you're in the tunnel, and then you are being violently ripped out of the hyperspace tunnel. So you're getting thrown all over the place. The hyperspace tunnels changes colour, and there's all this stress sounds on your ship, and then suddenly you drop out, and then your ship is shut down.
Yes.
So you've lost all power, you can't move, it's dark because you're a long way from the star, and it's silent because everything's shut down, and the idea is the player feels helpless. And then you hear this mysterious noise behind you, which is this ship that you've never seen before, and it flies over your head and turns around, and there's this kind of creepy music that's happening too. And then it turns around, you see its face, and then it kind of, it does a vocalization, which is really scary, and then it kind of its limbs kind of extend, and then it does this scan on you, which is kind of surprisingly intense, and then it just loses interest in you and just flies away.
You're not worth my time.
Yeah, so that's one of the beautiful things about it, in my opinion, is that it's showing how amazingly powerful it is, that it can pull you out of hyperspace. It can also shut you down, but how also completely indifferent it is to humanity. It just, oh yeah, you're not what I'm looking for, and it just flies off and just leaves you there. Which is really cool.
It's a very atmospheric thing. It tells you an entire story from jumping as regular to ending up in a complete nightmare scenario. Now, I know we have a video of it, so if you have never seen a hyperdiction and you do not want it spoiled for you, quickly go make a cup of tea and come back in about a minute and a half. If you want to see one or you've seen one before, stay tuned. We're going to have a little look at one and just listen to it.
Warning. Hyperspace unstable.
Oh, it gives me chills. I love it so much. It's scary. It really is scary. And I mean, that was the whole idea that we went for when creating this, when making this happen. And I'm glad to see that it succeeded, which was really great. It was just fantastic. So good work as well. Great work, team. So we are going to have a look into the stream quality after this segment. So if you are getting any stuttering, hold on for just a little bit longer and we will take a look into that for you. So do let us know in the chat if you're having any issues so we can look into that for you. But we'll get on to our next and final part of this segment, which is the one I think we have more notes on, which is starports and burning starports, because these are super cool. These are super cool. So the starports are some of the oldest parts of Elite Dangerous, as you can see here, right in the top. Little baby Coriolis, a little baby one, a wireframe again, and it was 1984, not 6. I realised I was a plonker and said the wrong date. Before K tells me off. 1984, couple of years out. But it's one of the oldest designs, and over the last 5 years, the interiors have been completely overhauled. There have been new types introduced. You've got everything from giant spinning hammers to, like your nice, beautiful Coriolis. You've got beautiful sort of blue and white Imperial looking interiors. You've got Federation, you've got Asteroids. I mean, Asteroids were added in, weren't they? They were one of the earliest that we wanted to add into the game. Some of our earliest concept art, anyway. Mm-hmm. So what sort of challenges did we sort of face with doing those?
The Coriolis.
The Coriolis,
yes.
And the Asteroid bases, yeah, all the different
Asteroid
types.
bases, yes. Well, these are very, very large structures. They're made of a lot of parts. They take a long time to put together and make sure everything works together and nothing is Z-fighting, as we call it, or flickering.
Ah, right.
And everything is rotating as it should do together. Yeah, it's a lot of work, so a monumental applause to the artists and tech artists there. And as you can see, the fidelity has changed a lot from the pre-production work, where it's all very smooth, there's not a lot to it, to what you see today with all of the fine detail and the girdering and all of the lights. The many, 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 many lights, so, which would be impossible to do without our deferred rendering pipeline. So thank you, Ben Parry, if you're watching.
And I mean, I love with the ports as well. So like with the Coriolis, that's not an exclusion zone, all those beautiful lights. You can go and fly right into them if you want to and stare at them a bit. And there are parts on other ones that you can fly in and out and around, and there's races based on those. And a lot of people like to practice FA off in those gaps because it's quite fun to just kind of get wedged
when I was doing gameplay stuff, that's how I trained myself before we released the game. It's just doing daring stunts around the space stations. It's still a lot of fun. But that was just mentioned the external parts. The internal parts have gone through quite a lot of changes as well. As you mentioned, the different states they can be in, the different types of interior. So like the damage stations, a lot of different teams had to come together for that. So with the render for the new fog effects and how the lighting works with the fog and the audio, as well as all of the gameplay mechanics and teams, making sure all the services you get from it are making sense with the state of the station. It's a whole group effort, all of the teams together. I mean, we don't like to work individually. I mean, it doesn't make sense just to do something which is just a graphic and has no gameplay implementation or consequence. So we all work very hard and we all work a lot together, and we love what's happened and come from it.
It's a very sensory experience. You can't have one without the other. And I mean, the burning starports, as we're seeing, these were a challenge because everything had to be reimagined, from the station controllers to the starports themselves. And as Dav and Don were saying earlier, without setting people's computers on fire, with all the things that had to change and all the different graphics and the fog and getting the rescue ships and everything set up there. So before we go into our next giveaway, we do just have a little quick video for you guys, which is the Commander Chronicles video that we released when the burning starports came out.
This is Coordinator Hendricks at the Oracle Starport. We have been attacked by Thargoids. Their shutdown field. We had no idea they could use it against the starport. Our defenses were useless, and the moment the station was immobilized, they attacked. They focused on the main reactor, and they hit it hard. Preliminary reports indicate hundreds dead, possibly thousands, with many more wounded. Any independent pilot, any available ships, anyone, please, help us.
And there you go, and that's just a beautiful representation of how the audio came together with all of the visuals to really create another sense of urgency and being just that little bit frightened. There's a lot of people having to come together to try and save a lot of others, and it really was wonderful, and it's a lot of fun to play with. And though they're gone now, who knows? Maybe, well, hopefully not, because we don't want things to be on fire, but maybe they'll be back one day. Have to wait and see. So guys, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and hanging out. Do you have anything you want to say to the community? Oh, put you on the spot.
It's meaningless without you. All of the feedback you give, seeing the reactions of you playing the game, that little back and forth there, it's what drives the project, it's what keeps us going. So thank you so much for playing and being with us over these 5 years. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, thank you, Kay.
Everything that Kay said.
We seem to be pretty good at doing that on these sofas.
What everyone says.
What they said, it's
well,
fine.
it's the truth.
It's the truth.
But the community is really supportive, and I really appreciate that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, guys. So before I let you two go and have some lovely lunch, because we're getting right about to that time, we're going to give away a copy of the game with the Horizon Season Pass on PC. So what would you guys like the people to put in the chat for their chance to win? No, bad Joe.
Shall we go with I Heart Thargoids?
Exclamation mark, I heart Thargoids. Get that in the chat on all platforms. It is open to all platforms. We are going to go to a back soon screen and get our next set of guests ready for our featured commanders segment, where we're going to be looking at all the coolest stuff you guys have done. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back very soon. Bye! again. So we're into our next and our biggest segment because there is so much to talk about. This is our Feature Commander segment where we're going to look back at as much as we can that you guys have done over the last 5 years. And I do, of course, have a couple of other special guests with me today. But before we introduce them, our winner of the copy of Elite Dangerous and the Horizon Season Pass is Jabalon on Mixer. Congratulations, Jabalon. Thank you for entering. We're glad that you heart the Thargoids. So if you could send us an email to community@frontier.co.uk with I won Elite Dangerous, we will get your prize sent out to you as soon as we can. But thank you for entering. Now, on to our special guests. We have Stephen and Danny. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, Danny. You've not been on one of these
This
before,
is my
have you?
first. This isn't just my first Frontier stream. Elite stream. This is my first Frontier stream completely. So
Why
yeah.
don't you introduce yourself to the beautiful 500 people we have?
Hello, everyone. I'm Danny Spiteri. I'm a product manager here at Frontier. I was working on Jurassic World Evolution, but I've recently moved across to Elite. So
Welcome to the team.
thank you. I mean,
Danny.
I'm super new to the project, but already I've seen some amazing stuff that the community has been doing. So I'm really happy not only just to be on this stream, but this segment of the stream.
Awesome. And we're going to hopefully show you some of the best and brightest of the last 5 years. So much for you to see. And obviously we have old hat Stephen Benedetti.
I'm back.
He's
I wanted to come in this one.
regular part of the furniture. No need for an
That's
introduction.
I don't need an introduction, but if you do need one, I am one of the community managers on Elite Dangerous, and I definitely wanted to jump onto this part because one of my favourite things about this game are the people who play it.
So let's jump right into it with, I believe, some screenshots. We're going to start very simple with some very pretty things. So we're going to go through them. Luckily, I named them all on here already, which is very handy. This is just a selection of some of the best ones from Reddit, from Twitter, from some of the social posts that we've put up. So we have got Commander Bloody Nutter here with his SRV praising the sun.
Well, that's it. It's like looking up, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's all
Praise
the sun. The ones always kind of remind me of like Wall-E and stuff like that, and going about the planets and doing all those different things. And if anybody's wondering, there's a monitor down here. This is why we keep looking away, just in case. It's always people. I always look back at the streams and people go, it must be so weird. Why are they doing this, doing that over there? So we can see what you're seeing as well.
And just a reminder, this isn't everything from the... I mean, we'd need another 5 years to talk about everything this community has done in the last 5 years. This is just a selection that we could gather. So, yes, some of our favourite screenshots. There are thousands of others. Yeah. So, yes, we've got one from Bloody Nutter here. Who's our next one? Commander Divergence.
Wow. It's amazing, isn't it?
Everybody knows Commander Divergence. Stunning, beautiful imagery.
The colour there is just exceptional, isn't it?
It's phenomenal.
Very gorgeous.
Kind of makes you feel like you're out in that nice hue.
Yeah, and it's what I like about this one is that quite often space can seem really cold.
Yes.
But that is like super warm. Like
Yeah.
I want to be there.
That's boiling. And yeah, I love it. And then our next one is Commander Fava. This is one of the oldest ones. I got this, I trawled through our Facebook for a good while, back to our old posts from 2013 onwards. And this is one of the oldest screenshots that we actually shared. It was a time lapse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a time lapse of everything.
That's a
going
time lapse,
on,
which is why everything in the back is spinning.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
Really creative idea as well. I like
Very
that.
clever.
Well, that's one of the things. A lot of these are like super creative. Like even the ways that you don't do it normally in game. People find a way to just to make amazing shots out of them. It's amazing.
And then next one, Commander Jetsukai. Look at that. Now, I did ask Commander Jetsukai and his group to come up with some Thargoid images, and this is one of the ones that he sent me. And look, I said that the Thargoids were terrifying, and I wasn't lying. They are stunning.
It's like all broken down and everything, isn't it?
Yep, everything around it is just broken. And Danny, I'm seeing in the chat that a lot of people are praising your beard.
Thank you.
One of the best things to come out of Elite in the last 5 years, Danny's beard.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I could claim that, but you know, I grew up myself, and
Did it take you 5 years?
no, it took about 5 weeks to be honest.
Jeez.
But, yeah, thanks everyone.
There we go. Introduction to Danny and Danny's beard.
You know
I feel like
what?
I'm stealing attention. Like people have spent all this time taking these incredible screenshots, and then
You just
people are
waltz
just
in
like,
here with facial hair.
yeah, I've just got a beard, so.
That's
Get back
it's still a talent. Look at me. This is why I don't grow one, because then I'd just be copying Danny.
Well, you know, I feel like, yeah, we should get back to the wonderful, oh wow.
So right, that's my reasoning for not having a beard as well. So then Commander Madaxo, one of my favourite content creators. I will say I'm going to single myself out there, but Madaxo, you can always tell when a shot is Madaxo's.
The framing of that.
Yes. Lots of ringed planets Madaxo takes screenshots of, so you can always tell, and it's stunning. Absolutely beautiful. It's El Dorado, basically.
It's like an eyeball looking at you.
It is.
It's like the universe is staring at your soul.
Now you've ruined it for me. Now it's an eyeball.
Back to the horror theme.
This one is a little cheeky. This one's the space butt. This
Oh
is
yeah, once you see it, you cannot unsee that.
Yep.
This is my little cheeky one that we put in there. This is Commander MIIC. This one was shared on Reddit a good few years ago, and I love it. It's just a space butt, but it's great. And I believe that's a black hole that they've actually been able to get there. Oh, it's great. It's one of my favourites.
It's art.
Yeah,
It's
it's
art. We
art.
should have it framed.
It's
On to
very-
the next one.
I was thinking waves. That's how innocent I was. I was like, oh, it's like two waves. Oh no, it's a butt.
Oh, I love the perspective.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Beautiful as well. This one, 67.6 mistake not. Because that is a 67.6 mistake not. There we go.
The ship detail as well, even though with the planet off in the distance, the way it goes, it's just how nice that detail is from the left pulling into the right.
And I did have to crop this one a little bit to actually get it in, so you'll be able to see the full version on our Twitter, I believe, this week. But I love this one. I love it so much. I mean, the full scale image just gives you a little bit more of the scope and the scale of the planet itself, which is awesome.
Yeah.
On to our next one. This one. So when you notice this one again, this is a man in a suit. When you see it.
It's a man in a suit.
So if you look,
Don't see it yet.
the cockpit is the tie. The sides of the ship
Oh yeah,
are the
yeah.
suit.
Shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got his head.
Yeah.
Squint your
I
eyes.
know. I think that's a big. That's
Squint-
a.
No.
squint your eyes
That's
a little
a
bit,
big-
Stephen.
that's
I
a big-
100% see it now.
There you go. Yeah, imagine the middle bit as like a tie with a tuxedo.
Maybe like I can see that, but it's just the face.
Well, it's not got a face. It's just a big ball head.
But that's what I mean. It's more like a
It's
tie.
like me without a beard.
Yes,
like,
it's the round
Okay,
thing.
so it's Danny without a beard. Good job,
Danny
Mooney
without a
Magic.
beard.
And this is from obviously the illustrious group SPVFA, who do screenshots and videos and all sorts of things. Lots of beautiful artwork, and I believe we'll have mention of those in a little bit as well.
I just showed a really cool horror thing that they had for when it was Halloween. We were able to show that off. I think it was at Frontier Extra. We did that there.
Awesome.
Fantastic work.
On to our next one. We've still got a few more to go, don't worry. This one's from Commander Ninja Hat. So this is obviously when the Thargoids were first coming about, you found lots of these things sort of out and about. And I love the way that this one is sort of composed.
Yeah, again, like I feel like I keep repeating myself because I keep thinking about the framing of it, but it's how like they've intentionally thought, lined up the camera in just that perfect way to make it so that it kind of it's circled by the rings as well.
Yeah. And it's so hard to do. It's like Paige and I, I think it was one of my first couple of streams, was trying to get me blowing up while I was doing with it to get more blow up stuff.
Right.
But it's just like you have to jump out and get it, and for people to get these exact angles and these the contrast with the background with the lighting as well. It's phenomenal.
Super talented.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right, on to our next one. I love this.
Wow.
So this is from the Small Worlds Expedition 2. This is a shot by Commander News, and this was a few years ago. I've used this one a few times. But yeah, they wrote 07 with ships outside of a station there, outside of
Check
Starport.
out that.
And we've seen a few people doing this, like the AO Expedition have done this one.
How
And,
many ships are there?
oh, God, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 15?
That must take a considerable amount of planning.
Yep, and not crashing into each other and not accidentally booping
Yeah,
anyone.
you would not want me taking part in that because it
be
would
the
basically
cameraman.
be like dominoes.
Yeah. Danny, no, Danny, boost, don't boost.
That's my screenshot challenge for next year, actually, for you guys. I want to see somebody line up anacondas and then take screenshots as though you've knocked them over like dominoes on a planet surface. That's what I want to see. Make it happen, somebody. Domino anacondas.
I like it.
I
love
want it
it.
on this stream next year.
Danny, what have you started?
What have I started?
What have you started?
Oh, screenshot challenges.
I won't be allowed back on here
No,
now.
No.
banned.
Right, we've got a few more to go. Oh, Commander Placid.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Commander Placid. What can you say? Commander Placid is just an artisan with colour.
Yeah.
They are always stunning, and it looks like you actually just rendered it out of engine.
Yeah, it's like even the blue
Yep.
reflective light that comes off from the lights. It reminds me, I was watching Star Trek last night, it was just on the telly, and it just reminds me, and it kind of excites you a wee bit, and that ability to do it, which I think Elite really brings to you, is when you're on your ship and you're able to like jump and see people jump, and it's so nice to see the jump.
And we do actually have a video from Placid in a little bit, which
Ooh.
we'll
Oh,
show
nice.
you guys. So next one, Commander Rini. So Commander Rini, we actually have the Burpit mug on our desk. Commander Rini and the Burpit, they do some of the most incredible Elite and Dangerous videos. So when we've done racing streams, they've tended to follow us about and then make brilliant videos afterwards.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's wonderful. But yeah, Rini, I asked, I believe it was either Galphoto or SPVFA, take me photos of explosions. I want to see explosions. Get me explosions. And then Rini was like, okay, here's one. I was like, that's more explosions than I expected, but I like it anyway.
Yeah.
That is a good amount of explosions.
I want to know what the final explosion of that looked like.
Well, I mean, it's just stunning.
That
It's
is so cool.
absolutely
That's a
stunning.
nice one.
Right, next one, Steven Flores. So this is a fairly old one as well, I believe. At least, it's about a year old, I believe, this one. And this is one of the darkest screenshots we've got featured, but I love it.
It's quite daunting, isn't it, with the
Mhm.
things in the background and the mystery that comes around it.
So yeah, this is out in a Lagrange cloud, and then, it's in an asteroid ring, this one.
Right.
But you've got some really weird alien-looking things. Not quite sure what they are, but can you see them? They're kind of stringy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love all this stuff.
It's
I'm a big fan
terrifying.
of like horror and cosmic horror and Lovecraft and all that, and anything like this kind of brings me Dead Space vibes or stuff like that. It's just so cool. Like I can imagine being in that, like just looking at it is very emotive. It's so cool.
It's awesome. I absolutely love it. And then I think we've got one or two more. So yeah, Commander
Wow.
Tenzin.
Stunning.
So this was back, this is a good few years ago, when you went into these Thargoid basey type things that were on
Yeah.
planets, and they activated, and what is this? And you managed to go inside, and once you figured out the puzzle and you'd not been murdered and you'd not run over all the weird egg sacky things on the floor and gotten green everywhere, and you got the machine working, and then the little bug guy, he's going to come and try and annoy you as well, you get this.
It's like a
Is stunning.
Thargoid Christmas.
It's
It just looks like it
Christmas
just
tree.
looks.
I think me and you have very different Christmases. There's none of that going on at my house.
There's lots of flies going about.
Yeah. But yeah, this appeared to be a map. That's what players thought, and with all the other bits and bobs going around the Thargoids, they were able to use this to try and go out and explore locations, and does this correlate to this or to this, and what does this map do? And it was absolutely stunning. And you can still go and you can still activate this for yourself now and have a look at it.
Mint. Love it.
Gorgeous.
So
Oh.
good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that. Another older screenshot. This one's from Unidecim. Obviously, you had a little bit of colour tweaking on this one, but
That's
God,
beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love the way it looks like the planet's kind of leaking ink.
I might have to get this off you for my desktop
Your
wallpaper.
Also, I've got the Distant Worlds as my desktop.
This is, that's stunning.
Yeah, well, that's for me. I always love to see the things in space because obviously space and gravity it's quite similar to water, and it kind of looks like somebody's dropped in some paint into the kind of water.
Yeah,
and
it's
has
like
that
ink
beautiful,
spreading, yeah.
beautiful effect kind of coming out of it and around, and feels very cosmic. I like it.
It just,
Awesome.
It flows.
It
It's
flows.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And then next one as well. This is from Zero Axis, and again, you can't quite see it, but there's a little SLV under there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
He's
right at the bottom.
also
Yep.
praising the nebula.
Hey, no nebula.
That is one of my favourite things to see, is people flipping an SRV onto its butt and going, praise! And I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, little praiser there. And I believe that is all the screenshots that we have.
Those are exceptional.
Just love that one of
And
them.
I'm
those
dead
are
impressed.
just a few. And I mean, we see hundreds every day.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
100. I'm being tagged in things never ending. And I bet when we're done with the stream, I'll go and there's another 1,000 there. And it's they are all stunning. And so those are just a few of the great ones. And I'll get you that one from Una Dessin. Well done, Una.
Yeah,
well done, Una.
Yeah, that is incredible. Yeah.
But we'll move on swiftly to our next part. So something you haven't experienced yet. You've been to one, I've been to a fair few now. Events. Events, real life events. Now we have this photo first because a lot of these photos that we're going to show are from Commander Arathon. Anthony, thank you. He does a blog after every event he goes to.
Oh, cool.
And includes tons of pictures, which is brilliant because I couldn't find all my tweets with all my old pictures of them. But I mean, over the years, ever since sort of, 2014, I believe, maybe even 2013, there have been events for Elite Dangerous Player Run. So you've had LaveCon, Fantasticon, and ECM, the Elite Community Meet. And we've attended as many as we possibly can. We always get somebody to go to each one every year. We'll all try and make it to as many as we can. But they offer opportunities for the player base to get together, chat about games. They'll have activities. They will have all sorts of things like painting. If you really want to go and paint some figurines, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to cosplay, some of them, like Fantasticon, have setups for that. Then they have charities, so you'll often have hearing dogs there, or you will have special effect people raising, and there'll be raffles.
You're representing special effect
I'm
today.
representing them today. There's charity auctions, there's raffles, most of which is won by Commander Jester D, which we know. We tend to just put aside a third of the prizes and expect that's where that's going to go. But yeah, have a look through some of these photos. They are just so happy, and these are all commanders from different events. Some of them we were at, some of them were before my time even. But I love them, each and every one.
I think video game events are so incredible because it is everyone coming together for this shared passion, and you could be, from different walks of life, from anywhere, and you instantly have something in common, and you can just start talking about something that you're hugely passionate about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Is that a VR setup as well?
So yeah,
Some
that
of these
was
are
a
amazing.
full motion VR setup, which was made. That was at ECM a few years ago, one of the first ones I went to, and that's Kate Russell there trying it out. She absolutely loves things like this, so it was very fun to go and chat with her about that. We've got Fantasticon, this was last year, with a flamingo, of course.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've forgotten the name of the flamingo, my bad. But yeah, Fantasticon. Keith,
I believe.
the
You've
flamingo,
decided.
sorted.
You've decided.
Yeah.
Keith the Flamingo. I like it. It
And
works.
you came to Fantasticon this year, didn't you, Stephen?
So yeah, I came to this year's Fantasticon. I missed it. I missed the other events because I hadn't started yet, and it was absolutely phenomenal to go and meet all these amazing, like-minded people who were really interested in the game, but also interested in other things as well. And we were really enjoying the different kind of things that you could do with these people together outside of Elite. So there was Elite in VR, which Will hogged. I wanted to play it, but he hogged it.
Sounds like Will.
And I ended up kind of wanting a go, and then we got dragged for food. There was, I think, the Beat Saber game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there was that. Sally got on board with that. And then we were looking at, there was sword fighting, like old medieval stuff. So there was all these different things. There was selling stuff. There was loads and loads of different stuff going on. And that's what was really fun about it, because we didn't just focus fully on Elite. It was just meeting the people and doing different games with the same people. Like you said, they was just brought that kind of common interest together.
Well, that's the great thing, because it might be that Elite is the thing that initially brings you together, but then you can discover that, I have this other shared passion, like I love painting as well, or I love video editing, or I love cosplay. So that's the kind of, like I said, that's the thing that brings you together, but then you can discover what else it is that you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly, and it's those kind of moments. And like Crumba came up to me, Commander Crumba, and was like, I'm also Scottish, and I was like, there you go, nice, nice and together, and it was fantastic, phenomenal. These events, and they're such a good way to bring people together, who now you know certain people's faces and names and their stories, and you get a wee bit a closer connection with them. It's fantastic.
That's a cool setup.
That is a really cool setup.
And I mean, one of my favourite things about these events as well is, obviously, if you know me, you know that I am not fully abled. I tend to use a walking stick and that kind of thing. But every single one of these events is set up with accessibility in mind as well. So if you are a commander who maybe wouldn't necessarily go to a gaming event because you may not be able to get about as easily, these ones are all completely set up for people like us who have a little trouble getting around. That's why we have hearing dogs there, because we have Alvin Deefer, who you will meet shortly. We have a photo of him. Don't worry, you'll learn who Alvin is. And people in wheelchairs, or if you just need a little bit more help getting about. And I love that about this. It's a very open, welcoming community. And I mean, you get things like this.
As video games should be. It's
Very
for everyone.
much so. Yeah. And then you got things like this. Look at all these pictures. These were all drawn by Commander Beetlejude, and she drew every single one of them.
I thought some of those were screenshots.
Those are all A3 chalk drawings or oil drawings.
That's mad.
She brought, I think, I can't even remember how many, but the entire wall was covered, and you could buy them for charity. We signed a ton of them. That's what all the little squiggles are around the outside. But she drew these from players' screenshots. And like, I've got a couple of those upstairs. She's drawn a couple for me. She drew one for Will with a Skaven in it.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. But
is
Sally
that
had
I've seen those, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
They were phenomenal.
she drew my cat in space. And I've got that one at home, which I still need to frame because I need to get a big, beautiful frame for it. But
That's
she
so
makes
cool.
all these and she tweets about them, and then she gives them away or she raffles them off for charity. And she does that in her own time. And she came to
Very
the events,
generous.
and very generous, and that's what this community is. That's the one thing I love about it so much, is they are so generous and kind.
Yep.
And that's why you get things like this. People of all ages, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
I'm looking forward to going to one of
Oh
these.
yeah,
'cause
definitely. Well, we'll have
Man.
ECM, LaveCon, and Fantasticon, I believe, next year. Hopefully, double check. People, let me know who are organising. And then, of course, special effect. You have Baz here, and you have Ali, and amazing people, and you'll get to meet these guys at one of the events as well. Fantastic, like official representatives of special effects.
I'm assuming he never takes that helmet off.
Oh no,
it's
he
always
doesn't
on.
actually have a head.
like
it's
a
just a helmet.
Mandalorian. always.
Yeah.
Can't take the helmet off.
Dread, but like proper.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a tragic accident. He's always got the helmet on. And these ones, so you can see me in the very bottom, so up the sort of ramp on the left, very far left in the blue dress.
Nice.
So there's me, that's from 2018. That's LaveCon. So at LaveCon, they always get everybody who's there to come outside for a big photo. And they usually have a drone up in the air to take it with, unless it's raining. But it's happened, it's rained every year, but we've managed to get 5 minutes where it's not. And there's everybody there, and I believe we've got the 2019 picture as well, which unfortunately I couldn't be in because I was in the back room with a computer that wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi trying to do announcements.
Oh.
It was really funny.
Nothing like working at
It was
an
an
event when
event, I
there's
know, it's
technical
just-
issues.
like, if I was in
Terrible.
this, I'd just be in the corner like, come on. So beautiful, and I love the location. It was just a really great time.
And what's cool is that I can see that there was more people in the previous photo, so it's clearly getting bigger and bigger each year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all growing every year, and we're getting people from different countries and everything coming over to visit. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I've talked a little bit about in this segment is charity. And oh my God, has this community done a lot for charity. So I have gone through as many of the charitable events that I could, tried to write down as many as I could. This is only the ones that we tended to work with or that we help promote. There are hundreds of other ones that we couldn't help out with or we didn't know about. So do let us know when we put up that forum post, if you did a charitable event, how much you raised for who. We'd love to celebrate that. So we're going to go through the few that I were able.
We're able.
Brilliant.
We're able.
I were able.
I were able to.
Husband's Yorkshire is rubbing off on me. That I was able to gather. So the first one, this was a featured event, the Road Trip, which was a 24-hour event for Extra Life, which was by Alchemy Den. Nice. As you can see, you can't quite see their picture, it's just under us. But this was led by Commander Arborich, who also helps mod for us, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. They wanted to support Extra Life, which helps kids in hospitals, essentially. We've got a little bit more detail on them later. But their efforts, going around for 24 hours on SRVs, circumnavigating a planet, led to about $1,100 being raised.
Wow.
Which was incredible, absolutely wonderful. The next one we have is Commander Alec Turner. Commander Alec Turner, most of you guys will have heard of him at one point. He's been furniture in the Elite Dangerous community in a very good way. He's that chair you never want to get rid of because it's brilliant and you love it in your house.
Absolutely phenomenal.
He's the master of races. He runs the best of the forums thread on our forums. He keeps a good close eye on the community and always, he has his finger on the pulse. He knows exactly what he's talking about. But he spent a good portion of 2017 navigating a planet in support of special effects as well. He raised over 350 quid.
Just by himself?
Just by himself.
Wow.
And is likely to do another event in the future. He does these for fun as well, but this is one that he did in support of special effects in 2017. So that's $1,100, another £350. How much more could these people have raised? Well, let's go to the next one.
It's just unbelievable.
Oh, don't worry. I've worked out the total amount from these. I think you'll be happy with it.
Astounded.
So, Commander Ascorbius here. So this was in 2018, November of 2018. He and a bunch of commanders went to the depths of Pomish 2C, which is a massive icy planet with massive, massive caverns with Type 9s. They were raising money for Cancer Research UK.
Nice.
And the event was a massive success. It was really fun. It was really great. They raised £2,000.
Ooh.
And that was for Cancer Research.
So good.
And hopefully, I know that Ascorbius does more races. He has promised me a vulture race one day, so we'll get there, see what happens.
Because you did the Type 9 race.
I did the Type 9 race as well. I was very excited. Me and Sally collided.
You, Sally, and Will, they were all doing it, and I've never seen Paige so competitive. Actually, well, she was trying to be in the SRV race that we did for the Full Throttle series, but I think she was too busy blowing up at that point.
Yeah. Then we go on to Commander Plater. Now, a lot of you will know Commander Plater from his videos on YouTube and his streams, where he does things like, he does David Attenborough-esque videos, like, oh, there's the anaconda and its wild native environment.
There's the anaconda.
Yeah, and it's no secret that Commander Plater does live with anaplastic thyroid cancer. So while kicking its butt, he also does 24-hour live streams every year, as much as he can, to help support the charities that support him and other cancer sufferers. He's raised over £20,000.
Wow.
Over the years.
And he'd recently done one, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago, and that was
amazing job, Commander. That is very impressive.
But it's not just him. That is him plus all the other commanders that came and helped him out, as you just saw in the video. In the picture previous. And this is his most recent fundraiser for a live stream that me and Will actually took part in, which was a lot of fun, going through and giving him challenges. Over 421% of his goal he has raised. So 8,400 from his last set of streams alone.
And the thing is, it's like what we need to bring up here is not just the fact that this commander has raised the money by doing something. It's that all the people that have actually donated to this event as well. Like this mad generosity from the community. So cool.
Yep. Then on to the next one as well. Don't worry, we're still going. Then we get on to Elite Aid. So Elite Aid is a lot of commanders again working together for a 36-hour live stream event, which is aiding people who have been affected by like world disasters, hurricanes and things like that. It began in 2017. They've done things for Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, and this year they helped raise for the Rural Fire Brigades Association of Queensland after all the big bushfires in Australia. They've raised over $5,000 so far with their streams, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And then you get onto the next one as well, which is our Elite Dangerous. So that is the subreddit for Elite Dangerous that you'll often find us trawling through, or me looking for screenshots. They have supported Extra Life over the years, which, as I mentioned earlier, it supports the Children's Miracle Network hospitals by collaborating with streamers and video makers to do 24 hours of gaming to help raise money for ill children.
Yeah.
Though I couldn't find the exact number for them, they have raised over $3,000 over the years.
It's very impressive.
Which is fantastic. And this all goes towards supporting kids who need a little bit better quality of life while they're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Then you get onto the Pixel Bandits Strike Back. And when they do strike back...
that name, by the way,
it's
the
good.
Pixel Bandits.
Pixel Bandits are phenomenal.
And when they strike back hard. They raised 334% of their target, which took them to about £1,670.
Amazing.
For the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of different charities being supported, which is wonderful as well.
I was trying to keep a tally in my head of how much all this is, but
I'll let you guess at the
my
end.
math is terrible. So
See, I know the number, so I'm not going to say anything.
Cheeky, you weren't meant to say it. Then we go on to Project 168. So Project 168 is a mammoth undertaking. The first iteration was the Commander and DJ Truthsayer streaming 12 hours each every day for 7 days. They streamed 168 hours within a week.
Wow.
And they raised £11,500 for special effect and stack up. They split it between the two.
I've done a 12-hour live stream before, and they are hard work.
Yeah.
Like, people are just, unless you do it, you don't understand, like, the fatigue that sets in.
Yep.
And, like,
You even go, but like I'll sit there and I'll play, like for instance, Elite. I'll sit and play Elite, and 2 or 3 hours kind of go by. But after that, like you start to feel it a wee bit.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what it is, but I struggle to find time to play an hour a night sometimes with things going on. But the fact that these people dedicated 12 hours a day just to help other people is phenomenal. And obviously all the people that joined in and watched and supported them as well.
Yep. And then the second iteration was 168 hours of games, including Elite Dangerous, being streamed by 37 streamers, which raised another £8,000. So hopefully we'll see another iteration in the future and they can keep building up charities, which is awesome. And then you've got this one, Truckers Up Teed. I think it's Teed, or I hope it's Teed. Teed? Well, it's Teed now, I'm saying Teed. So the Hutton Truckers, they never shy away from a challenge. In late 2018, in support of special effect and hearing dogs, don't worry, I saw it, but I'm not going to pop. There 14 truckers climbed an actual volcano, not in game.
Right.
They went to a real volcano.
It's amazing.
I hear they're pretty big as well.
Yeah, they're pretty huge. While in game,
The size of them.
other people scaled a mountain,
Yes.
which was also called Teed in the Magex system, I believe. Of course, we do have to say, if you could all say it for me, for the mug.
No, you need to give us. You need
Come
to
on,
give,
gentlemen.
You need to give me a cue.
1, 2, 3.
For the mug.
Fantastic. For the mug, they climbed. They ended up surpassing their target by 6% with a total of £12,837, including gift aid.
Wow.
Which was incredible. But yeah, a bunch of them went up an actual volcano.
I have done two Monroes on the same day, and it was an absolute struggle. And if you don't know what a Monroe is, it's higher than a hill, but it's not as big as like a mountain.
Right.
So it's like a bit in between, and doing two of them.
I feel like you're making this up, but
It's a true thing. It's in
I'll allow
Torrington.
it. I'll allow it.
Beautiful. Scotland has its bonny high hills and mountains and Monroes.
We
And
don't
I'm
mention
seeing lots
the
of call
only,
outs for the mug as well.
For the
yeah,
mug.
this is
For the
this
mug.
is like for the mug.
Anytime you go to an event, you will, if you just go mug, you'll hear 1,000 people screaming back, mug! So it'll
Cool,
happen.
good to know.
Just try that when you get to an event. You'll find them. You'll find the truckers. So out of the rough total that you have in your head, William, he nearly spoiled it. We're okay. Out of the
That's
total
right, I was looking over here.
If everybody else knows, don't tell Danny.
In your head,
Don't tell Danny.
how much do you reckon roughly they've raised?
I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself here because
Fantastic. William's already embarrassed himself, so that's fine.
there is at least, from my calculations, not £51. Sorry,
There's
£51. Will can't do math.
25,000.
Well, that was 2 of them.
Okay, well, yeah.
I mean, one of them alone was 20,000.
Okay, Danny can't do math.
Okay, I forgot about that one.
How about we just show you?
Yeah.
How about we show you that it's over £63,000 have been raised for various charities
Wow.
by the Elite Dangerous community since 2014, and those are only the ones that we have listed. That is not the entire community. That is not every charity live stream. That is not every raffle done at events.
Yeah.
That doesn't include our own 24-hour live streams.
Wow.
Where people come along.
That is absolutely
Wow.
exceptional.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it always comes back to this for myself as a community manager on this game, is that this community have raised this much, possibly more, over the last 4 years and came together from a game to do that, which not all games get to do that. Not all games have that opportunity to create a community, and not only create a community that sustains and keeps going, but then is so selfless that they'll end up helping other people to do these things and put themselves, because honestly, I know as much as we love playing video games, but playing 12 to 24 hours is so time consuming. It costs you a lot of money and time and stress and everything else to get these all organised and do them, and it gets out of your way, and these people do it, and for me it is just absolutely phenomenal, and I just think it's an amazing thing to see.
It's just, And beyond even just the actual things like themselves, the live streaming, all the organisation that goes into it, and the promotion of it, and if there's multiple commanders taking part in it, it's so much work. But it's people that have, they obviously have a care for the community, and they want to take something that they love and use it to hopefully make people's lives better. And
exactly,
and they've definitely done that.
Yeah, with all this money raised, I mean, well done everybody who got involved. Well done.
That's it. That's
everybody
incredible.
helping each other out. Like, there's such a helpful community. We've had different streams where they've just came on and helped us 150%, and they're just they're a wonderful bunch.
And then there's also smaller things. So just before we move on to the next section, things I've personally seen. There was recently a lady who tweeted about Elite Dangerous and also how she was losing her eyesight and couldn't afford her bills in America.
Right.
She couldn't afford to get treatment. The Elite Dangerous community just paid for her to have one of her eyes fixed.
That's amazing.
She's not going to go blind anytime soon. And the community came together to help her out.
That's
and
amazing.
It's incredible. So thank you everybody for being fantastic.
Yes.
But let's move on to our next section. So now we're going to have a look at a few of the other pieces of furniture in the Elite Dangerous community, the other things that we are just so happy to have around. And these are some of our biggest and most awesome player groups. So let's start with Cannon. So what do you boys know about Cannon?
I know nothing, so I'm eager to learn about Cannon.
Excellent, that is wonderful then. So Cannon was founded in 3301. So that's, well, we're on 3305 now, coming up 3306, so that's a good 4 odd years ago, by Dr. R. Cannon, who I've met a few times, he's absolutely lovely, with the emergence of the unknown artifacts. They're the largest scientific community within Elite Dangerous, so whenever you get science that needs to be done in the galaxy, you will definitely find Cannon there with scientists.
Awesome.
And they will
and they're real
do
scientists.
everything.
They are real scientists.
And they are
so they come in and
legitimate
give you
scientists as well.
knowledge and stuff. And
That's so
it's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, I believe there's actually a person that works for NASA as part of Cannon, which is really
Wow.
cool.
I would never get in that group.
So yeah, no Cannon for you. You can come into maybe the Galactic Academy, which is our next group.
Ooh.
The Galactic Academy is one of the best resources out there for new players. So Danny, you may definitely want to get in touch
Yes,
with them
definitely.
and ask them for some tips. So they are a player group and they largely operate out of their Discord channel. Galactic Academy is full of experienced commanders who take that sort of knowledge and what they know and they happily share it with anybody that comes in and asks.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a question, you can go in, you can ask, and there's guaranteed to be somebody that can help you out.
Yeah, we've
Awesome.
we've seen them. A few of us in the Galactic Academy, and they're quite quick to respond to people or pass them on to somebody they need help with elsewhere and stuff like that. Really collective group.
And since 2015, they estimate they've helped about 12,000 people, which is pretty awesome. 12,000
wow.
commanders with the knowledge they need to be able to go out, and that's 12,000 individual commanders, not 12,000 questions, which is pretty awesome. So then we go on to our next group, who we have already talked about. And what do we say for the Hutton Orbital Trackers?
For the mug.
We say for the mug. Of course we do. So wherever they go, the cry for the mug is heard. And alongside their leader, Alvin Deefer, who I believe we have a photo of. This is Alvin.
Ah, yeah.
Alvin is the leader of the Hutton Orbital Trackers. Alvin is a doggo, obviously. He is a hearing doggo, alongside Snoz, his owner. I love him so much. I give him snugs every time I see him. But you can often find the truckers making the massive journey between the Hutton Orbital in Alpha Centauri, from dropping out to actually getting there. It's hours long.
Right.
That's not just I've throttled down. That's max pelt.
But when you got a doggo to keep you company,
Oh
though,
yes, it's absolutely fine.
Oh yeah.
Alvin is the best boy. He is a heckin' good boy. Just a very wonderful boy. It is said that there's a free anaconda at Hutton Orbital. There is not.
There's not.
I'm afraid. I have to put a dampener on that one. But there is a mug, and you can get a mug when you go there. So it's wonderful.
I really want
It's worth going there for the mug.
I want Alvin to have a mug in his mouth. I want a picture of that.
All right, there we
Just
go.
a nice mug picture.
That's the next one, Snoz. We require Alvin eating a mug.
Not eating, just like in his mouth.
Will we get him a soft one?
I don't want him to eat a mug. it's like animal cruelty. I don't want that to happen.
Somebody make a plushy mug for Alvin. That's what
or
we
a biscuit one.
Then on to our next one, which is Lave Radio, the hottest show this side of DSO. So Lave Radio is one of the backbones of the Elite Dangerous community. They've been going since 2013. So
Right.
obviously we're celebrating our 5th anniversary. They've been going longer than that. They run live weekly shows. They do podcasts. They do a science fiction show.
Yep.
And they do a little convention that you might have heard of, which is LaveCon, you know, the one with those massive pictures.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely fantastic. Lave Radio, they are cheeky, they are funny, and they are wonderful to hang out with.
It's really funny when
Awesome.
you hear them, because they obviously discuss current events and things that are going on, and they speak and they say your name, because they'll like look for the forum posts and everything like that, and you feel slightly like,
You feel
oh
special.
yeah, you're like that. So Stephen said this the other day, and I went, oh no, but it's brilliant. I love listening to a couple of them.
And then we're going to get on to our last featured group, which you probably have heard of, which will be the Fuel Rats. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yes.
everybody has
I think
heard of the
Lil
Fuel
Willie
Rats.
has.
Oh, I'm sure little Willie has
He's
heard
got
of
he's
the
got a Fuel
Rats.
Rat mug.
I recently did my my ratting, which was great as
Oh
well.
yes.
So I could be a proper rat. It's wonderful. So they have fuel. You don't. Do you have any questions? That's a rhetorical question. No need to
Nice.
answer it. But the Fuel Rats are one of the most long-running and most well-known Elite Dangerous player groups because they travel the entire galaxy, bringing fuel to everybody who needs it. And there's no payment involved, nothing.
total
You
free
need fuel,
service.
they'll bring it to you. But do you know these things? And that's out to the community as well. So this just looks like a picture of an emblem, doesn't it? But this is the entire Fuel Rats logo drawn on the galaxy by Commander Malibu and, oh gosh, it was a ton of other commanders. They all joined in. And that is the logo drawn on the galaxy.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
That was
isn't
done by
And what a logo.
1,600
You want a
waypoints.
logo?
Yeah, so good.
1,100,000 light years had to be jumped.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
To draw that. And what a crazy undertaking it was, but it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, and these two gentlemen I found out about recently. This is Commanders Dasman and Woobubble, or Wobble, or Wooble. Don't know yet.
Probably.
But they met 3 years ago while ratting, and then they recently met up in real life, and then sent us this picture. And it's so wholesome that
That is awesome.
going and playing spaceships together leads to real life friendships in what looks like a British pub on Sunday roast.
Oh,
So that's a good time. That is just a good time.
like how we both did the same reaction there. Oh, thinking of a nice Sunday
Because
roast.
it's lunchtime,
But
right?
now-
Oh, Danny saved me.
Not a fan of the cat?
I'm scared of
Now
cats.
we have a reason for Stephen to be scared of cats. This cat killed 2 people. This cat,
In game.
in
Right,
game,
You're good to know that bit.
this cat, after a
was looking
successful
out for it
rescue,
then.
after the Fuel Rats rescued a person in their spaceship, the cat jumped up onto the desk, hit the keyboard, hit the boost, and catapulted the rescuee's ship into the rescuer into the rescuee and blew them both up. They couldn't get hold of the person to apologise, so they posted this picture to Reddit like, we're so sorry, this is the cat that killed you.
I might have to
And-
use a cat as an excuse every time I do something
Yeah.
bad in the game.
And as I wrote in my notes that I'm very sad people can't see, I've said this is the perpetrator.
Oh,
And I'm very happy with my pun. And then we would be remiss not to mention the next person, the next part of the Fuel Rats. So look at this interesting looking picture. This is Operation Beyond the Dark Edge. But this is Commander Deluvian at the very far end there, who was rescued after being stuck for months because he supercruised out as far as he could get, used a teeny bit too much fuel, and got stuck. It took 600 hours consecutively to rescue him. They had to send out rats in groups to essentially sort each other out
Almost
as they
like
went
relay.
along. And they had to
Yeah.
relay to get to him, and they fueled him just enough to actually get the next jump back.
That's crazy. The organisation in that is brilliant.
Absolutely crazy. And it's absolutely wonderful. Obviously, this is just 5 groups that we've mentioned,
Yeah.
5 of some of the longest running, but that's not everyone. And as we mentioned earlier, there's been 20,000 squadrons created. There are so many player groups. There's, people like Alpha and SPVFA, and there's the Fatherhood, and there's all these people that we have mugs representing.
The whole seals came from
There's
the,
the whole
Fuel Rats.
seals.
There's
There are so many, we literally
racers. There's so
could
many.
not- we literally could not mention them all. It's insane. But there's so much in this big, beautiful community that you
Yeah.
will get to meet and get to learn. And if you're new to the community as well,
Yep.
have a look about. There's definitely going to be somewhere a group for you
Yeah.
that you can join in with, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, and we also do a lot of our streams, our
Yes.
Thursday night streams. We try and get them involved, and we'll do like featured commanders or the Galactic Intern. So if you go back through ours, you can also see some of them and how
That's
they've
cool.
worked. And these groups have been around for a long time, especially to go back with like Ed Lewis. He was one of the first people to start off the Galactic Intern, and he's went through a few different player groups as
Nice.
well. So if you want to check them out, they're there as well.
Awesome.
It's fantastic, and we are going to cover a couple more as we go on, but in different ways. Don't worry. So the next thing we're going to talk about is an in-game event which you were probably living under a rock if you hadn't heard about, which was Distant Worlds 1 and 2, which is awesome. So Distant Worlds, I mean, what can you really say about them? They are massive. They were everywhere. Distant Worlds 2 was first conceptualized in 2017 at Frontier Expo when a bunch of people got together and said, oh, we should do that flying thing again. And so they did. And they announced it in beginning of 2018, and then it took another year to plan.
How far they went.
Yeah.
And then in January of 2019, Distant Worlds 2 Expedition launched, and roughly 14,000 commanders took part.
Yep.
The thing is, they were going to stagger the launch, so, you know, we did our part on our end, we made sure the servers were up to strength and everything was working, and we were like, cool, people are going to jump, and then everyone got really excited and decided to jump at the same time and crash the servers, because a few thousand more people decided, nah, let's go now. And so a lot of the videos that I was watching, people going, yeah, oh, which is very funny. It did make me laugh quite a bit, but you know, we got them back up quite quickly. People got back on their way, but it was a wonderful time. It was wonderful. We did cover the event quite extensively during its 6-month duration, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail now, but there are plenty of videos on our YouTube channel if you want to go back through and learn a little bit more about the event. But like, here you go, DW2 spelled out, which I just loved. Another one of those that
Another
you like.
domino opportunity.
Bonk.
But yeah, so we covered it, but so did Polygon and Kotaku, Rock Paper Shotgun, and New Scientist magazine.
Wow.
Wow.
That is cool.
And then if you see this just looks like a regular email, but this is an email from the actual astronaut, Chris Hadfield.
I love him.
Amazing,
Chris
isn't it?
Hadfield emailed Dr. Kai, one of the organisers, to say, this is going to be awesome. Like, congratulations, go. This is great. And we got sent that, and it was like, wow. Wow.
Just
Oh my
phenomenal.
gosh, that's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Considering that dude has actually been in space.
yeah. Unlike virtually, you know, he's actually been there, and he's like, wow. It's so cool because it's such a big distance, and again, people come together and planning this stuff and putting away. It's really awesome to see when these events come together and we can help them out. It's brilliant.
Yep, and some of our own team took part. I know people like Dav took part and Will took part, and it was wonderful. We did a lot of jumps and we went to a lot of great places. It was fantastic. It was so cool. And I have heard rumblings of a Distant Worlds 3.
Ooh.
Rumblings, you know, in the ether. We'll have to see what happens there, but it'll be very cool. And then you've got other expeditions as well, so I don't have as many details on those because unfortunately we do not have 5 years to discuss them.
No.
But you've got things like the Apollo 11 anniversary expedition. Then you've got the August Exodus, as I said earlier. There's another one that you like, more dominoes.
Yeah.
Perfect. I do love the symmetry in this one. It's very beautiful. You've got the Autumn Odyssey. I got them the wrong way around. Autumn Odyssey, then August Exodus. And then you've got the Christmas Carriers Convoy, which they're doing now as well, where they take gifts around the galaxy and drop off like rare goods, which is pretty fun, which is pretty cool. And then you've got Dead End Circumnavigation Expedition, which is a tongue twister if you've ever tried to say it.
The Dead End Circumnavigation
Expedition.
Expedition.
Don't forget the last word, mate.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh gosh. All right, before we get Mary Poppins in here, you've got the first Great Planetary Expedition as well. This was, again, more beautiful SRVs praising each other, which was lovely. But that was the launch of that, and that was people driving around a massive planet again, which was awesome. And you've got the Galactic Nebula Expedition as well, which was 3302, so that's one of the older ones. And you've got the Small Worlds Expedition 1 and 2 as well. We saw that 07 screenshot from 2 earlier by Commander News. Next year, there are already 3 expeditions registered on EDSM, which are still available for you to sign up for if you want to, which change my notes. So you've got the Celebration of Early Astronomy going on from New Tauri to TRAPPIST-1. You've got the Orion expedition going from Betelgeuse to Explorer's Anchorage, and you've got the Perseus Reach expedition going from Sol to Semitus Beacon.
Yeah.
So if you do want to join in maybe your first expedition, there's going to be those. There's going to be a ton more going on. If you want to speak to about things like Distant Worlds 3, or you've got ideas for a great expedition, speak to other commanders, speak to us, let us know. It's so much fun to take part in these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. And again, there are hundreds more, and there are so many. These ones I picked because they all had over sort of 100 people joining in with each, but there were another 100, 200, all with sort of 100 to, between 10 and 100 people joining in. It's so wonderful, and it's awesome to see people going about the galaxy and exploring. So on to our next bit. Our next bit is our traditional YouTuber reaction video segment.
Okay.
So essentially, we're going to have a look at some of my absolute favourite Twitch clips. So I had to go through 600 Twitch clips and some YouTube clips as well to find ones that were, one, safe for work, and two, just fantastic. So you're going to see the videos. You're going to see who they're by, so you can go and check out their channels. You won't be able to hear us, but you'll be able to see us. It's going to be a good time. Oh, you might be able to hear us. That's fine then. So this first one is from Bognogus.
Okay, I think we're set. And go. Oh my God. Oh, sweet Jeebus. Oh my God, we've done it. Sweet Jeebus.
Oh, he's so good. I love him.
Only chance I could do that is by accident.
Yeah,
I'd
I
have to
love
be
him.
hit by something and just luck would have to fire me through.
I love him so much. Let's go straight to our next one, which is DJ Knight.
It's happening! It's happening, fam! Thargoid hype! Alien hype!
I love all this.
This is the whole panic.
I love that DJ, he uses a voice changer and that sort of thing in his streams a lot, and with that he's just screeching and screaming. It was really funny. It was really funny, but it was fantastic. It was really cool. This next one is from Eswarp, and this is one of the cutest ones that I've ever seen. I love it.
Oh
yeah. Instant win if you have a doggo.
Hey, hey, buddy.
Puppy wants cuddles.
What's on your face, Dad?
The best part is...
Oh, he's going to make him cry.
He's just going...
Operate his spaceship, you idiot!
Dogs must think we're so weird.
I know, I'm thinking that now. Like, what are you doing,
Just sat there with a big box on our head.
I love that so much. Just doof in the face. Yeah. So good. This one's from Exigeous, and Exigeous' grandmother.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Where is it?
There she is.
Oh, it's brilliant.
There you go,
Yeah.
there you go, there you go. Yeah!
Clapping away.
That was fun! Somebody please clip that. Somebody please clip that. Oh my goodness. She looked over at me. That was fun!
I love that. She managed to escape the interdiction, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was so good.
mint.
Oh, my face literally hurts from laughing at these now. Oh, it's so good. This next one is from Hello, it's Colo, who I've seen in the chat. Hello, Colo.
Hello, Colo.
Hello.
I love her reaction in this one. This is to her getting hyper-addicted. So funny.
It's a complete shock. It's just the joy that people have when these things happen. Oh. Then it says now went straight to VR.
That's good.
And then panic. Nothing's working.
It's what she says in a second that makes me laugh.
Wow.
That's my ship. That's my ship. What are you doing to my ship? What are you doing to my ship?
Because you guys can't hear her, she's going, "That's my ship! No, that's my ship!" Just pleading with them. No, please leave me alone.
There's nothing you can do at that point.
Oh, that is one of my favourites. And I was watching that one. I was like, I know that feeling. That's good. And it's not the Fuel Rats clip, yes, because Colo did have to call the Fuel Rats live on stream. I will mention that for her. Just, you know, she'd love me too, so that's great. Next one is from Lavan G-Fan, and his face is just fantastic. This is him hearing an asteroid blowing up.
It's the dedication and concentration, isn't it?
I sent as soon as he did that stream, I took a clip of that and I sent it around to the audio team, like, because they were like, did people like the asteroid stuff? Did they like it? And I was like, here you go, this will tell you. And they were like, okay, good, they liked it. I was like, yeah, they did. They definitely did. It was awesome. It was so good. Next one is from Luke and I, and this one's just really wholesome. She's just so excited for Distant Worlds. I love it so much.
Oh, there is someone is counting down.
Nice hat as
Someone
well.
is
It's a good
counting
hat.
down.
It's a really nice hat.
She does make sure to dress up.
2, 1, and hopefully I will see all the other ships jump around.
Some of the stuff in the Distant Worlds when they're all jumping
other
together and you
ships?
could see everybody jumping. It's
Go other ships?
just amazing.
It's epic.
Yeah.
They're going. They're going.
Okay.
Let me use the sync real quickly. And let's go. Now. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Okay, I would say that looks pretty cool. I think we've done it. I think we've done it. That was quite nice.
She's like, oh, that's nice. That's just nice. I'm like, oh, Luca, that's so cute. She's just so happy about everything. It's so wonderful. It's
Again,
really
I like
lovely.
the mass jumps where everybody
Yeah.
just shoots by and everything. This was so good.
And the server survived her jump, so that was fantastic. That was good times. This one is from Malik. Be careful if you are looking at home. If you're using headphones, turn it down a tiny bit. Don't worry, Will, I've saved your ears. Because this one can get a little loud. Here we go.
Oh, God!
Oh.
So I did have to flip that one so you could see his reaction, which is why it's a bit back to front.
That was
But-
kind of close.
He came in and was looking, obviously he plays in VR, and he was looking around for the station, then saw it at the corner of his eye and just freaked out and just fell over.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was fantastic. For somebody that's usually so suave and smooth when flying,
Yeah.
him freaking out at the station was just amazing. I loved
He's
it.
a really adept flyer. He's really, really good with the HOTAS and everything set up and his VR. So
We all
good.
have moments.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic. I've shared that one a few times because it's one of my favourites. This next one's from Psyche, which is, it makes me laugh so much whenever I see this.
PK, your flying is giving me like. I have a funny idea that might have been intentional, PK, but your wheel is just rolling down the hill.
The tyre just rolling away. I love that one so much. Just, oh, every time it's just, yeah, she's just driving around with PK and he explodes and his tyre just rolls off really gently off the side of the screen. It was, oh, it's so funny. You need to hear the audio for that one. I'll show you later. We've got Malik in the chat saying, you get things thrown at you and see how you react. Don't worry, Malik, it's wonderful. And this last clip, this is from Pumpkinberry. She's so happy. She's so happy.
Oh my god.
She found her favourite nebula.
It's the joy that people get with this. Yeah. See, I think Holtz Cole also had one as well when she went to Earth, she went to Sol.
Awesome. I also really like the Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, this is totally worth the 14-hour trip.
She was just so happy, and it was so lovely to watch. Just and there were so many other clips and so many other content creators and YouTubers and streamers, and obviously you got people on Mixer, and there's so much more I'd have loved to have included, and unfortunately we just couldn't fit them all in. But as I said earlier, on that forum post that we put out, if you have a favourite video or content creator or clip or piece of fan art or a player group, do tell us, put it all in there. We want to see what you guys think and all of your favourite stuff from the last 5 years. We want to be able to go through all that and see it all. We want to be able to do it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So we're going to get on to the next bit as well.
Yep.
So this is some of my favourite as well. This is fan art and creations. So some of the really cool pieces of art that have been sent in to us. So I believe this first one is from Muzipan. A lot of people will know Muzipan's stuff. And it's the happy sidewinder.
It's so good.
I love
It's
this.
the
I love the
happy
happy sidewinder. Just looks so happy.
It's so good. Muzipan has a very distinct style, and it's so wonderful. I love it so much.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, next piece is from Ruben Hammersmith.
I love how when you go on Reddit, it pops up as well.
So Ruben, when some of the new ships came out, like the Challenger, made these incredible stat sheets, and I just loved the design of them. It's so cool. It's really easy to see. It's really easy to understand, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's so sci-fi.
Yeah, I could imagine having that framed up on the wall as well.
Yep, definitely. I
Like
love
for your
it.
favourite ship. Yeah.
I do like the chieftain.
Yes, Ruben, did you make more? We need to find them. Next one is from Commander T-Faddy. And this one I love. This is, so T-Faddy makes a lot of pixel art. And so this is his little pixel art imagining. This is for quite a few years old, but I love it. It's
so nice, isn't
so
it?
cute.
Love this wee bit of the galaxy, the planet broke off at the sides. Crumbling away in the distance.
It's just crumbling.
And pixel art takes so long to do. Like,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't think people fully understand like how much goes into it. But yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, well, you do it pixel by pixel. And
Well,
it
yeah.
It takes so long, and it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. Then we have a piece of traditional art, I believe. This one's by Jessica Sonnet, and that is a python. Well, look at that.
It's drawn. All drawn.
I thought it was a screenshot.
It does.
Nope.
It does really like. It's quite like the screenshot we saw earlier when it was like darker. It's quite like it's
Detail on that is insane.
Absolutely stunning. I love it. Again, it's one of those that's very monochromatic, but it still has a lot of warmth and depth to it. I love it. It's really pretty. Next one is from Ian Barriston.
Oh,
Look at that.
It's one of my favourite ones.
So this is one of the ones the Fuel Rats had a art competition. I think this one was called like "Where Do You Want It, Buddy?" And you know, where do you want the fuel, Mr. Thargoid? I don't know where you take the fuel, but I love it. It's so cute. It's so colourful. It's really, really well done.
I love it.
It's so
Great.
good.
Our next one is from Commander Exorcist. So this was from Inktober this year. Commander Exorcist, every day of October this year, did a pixel art drawing to do with Elite Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put them into a lovely frame for us all to see. And they're so cool. And he put all the different prompts with them as well. It was
awesome.
wonderful every day knowing that I was going to like come into work and click on the Inktober lot.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, boo, another one from Exorcist. And
It's like an advent calendar.
It
Yeah,
was
it
like
was.
a
It
nice
was
wee like
like,
advent
what's it gonna be
calendar.
tomorrow?
an Inktober advent calendar, and there were some days that was just like, I'm so confused. I get it. And then other days where it's just like, this is just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So yes, great job, Exorcist. It was lovely to see those sort of every day with Inktober. And then the last one, but not least one, this one's a little bit different. This one's from Aliana, and this is a human Thargoid.
Wow. I was going to say, I can see the dress has the kind of the...
Oh yeah,
And then,
like that.
and then the umbrella
Uh-huh,
is a scout, and then she's got Thargons around her as well. I saw this one a few years ago.
That's beautiful.
That's so
and
nice.
It's
so
really
well done.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'd love to have that as like a doll or like a just a piece for my desk.
This you're trying to get people to make it now.
Make
If
me
you
a
make
doll.
dolls,
Get me a
Paige would love
Barbie.
one of these.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. Really, really beautifully done. And again, so much more art and creations that I would have loved to have included.
Of course.
And just not enough time.
The thing is, we've had 5 years of such amazing content.
Yep.
To try and fit this into a smaller stream segment is so difficult to
Yeah.
do, and we will miss people out. And it's awful because we get you can go see more of that stuff with the community.
And I mean, I've been here 4 years, so not as long as the game, and so there was a lot I was digging through and a lot I was learning as well. And it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So let's get on to the next bit. And the next bit is just a little bit more shout out around some of the sort of other creations, so things like tool websites. So lovely shout out to EDDB, to Inara, to ED Shipyard, to Coriolis, ED Wiki. There are tons more as well. People have made tools for everything from building ships to finding best routes for selling things, for actually finding different items, for getting up and meeting with other people and trading items that you can get other things that you want and that you need. It's awesome. It's so cool. It's absolutely brilliant.
Talented people.
Super cool. It is super cool. And then you have things like Sagittarius Eye. And we're going to use our fancy overhead camera for this because I have an edition of Sagittarius Eye here, my favourite edition, which is the Co-Paulets edition.
Of course
now,
it is.
have a look at this. I'm going to make sure that you guys can see it properly.
It's okay. You can see
It's all
the
right,
evilness of the
Stephen,
cat.
it's all
Look at
right.
that. However, the graffiti art is probably one of my favourite pieces of art that is of the cat.
Oh, Stephen, apparently you have shotgunned the entire community.
I was making sure you're all still with us.
You're all awake. That's absolutely fine. So Sagittarius Eye is the Elite Dangerous news agency, and they are a group of over 70 writers and editors and videographers and photographers and voice artists and editors and everything. And they come together to make the magazine, of which we get a couple of fancy physical copies, which is stunning, absolutely stunning. But then they also do things like the breaking news feed, and they do videos, and they'll keep doing stuff on Twitter and keeping you all up to date with all the latest information. But every single page has been made by a commander and edited by a commander and designed by a commander for other commanders, and you don't pay for any of this. They make it, you can read it every single month, including their own adverts, which I love. I love that they have their own adverts. And then they have the back as well, where they talk about a lot of the people that have supported them, the people that have worked on it. And then you have the Co-Paulet segment.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Daddy's getting so excited.
Yes, this is Simba, as we can see here. And Simba is a Chief Morale Officer for Halo Fanatics. And I just love it. We get these, pretty much every month, and it's always a joy to look through and to read. And they're every quarter at the moment because they're working on some other things as well. But I love this cover. This was their Co-Paulets cover. Very,
Again,
very
without
cool.
sounding like a broken record, these things take so much work. So before I worked in video games, I used to work for a university, and I used to do their prospectuses, and I basically had to make magazines. And yeah, the amount of work that goes into them. Obviously, these ones are far more interesting than the ones that I used to have to work on. But the fact that people have come together to make this, that's very impressive.
It's fantastic. Now, we've got 2 sections left of this before we're going to have our final giveaway. But next, we're going to have a look at a couple of videos. So this first one doesn't actually have any audio, so don't worry if you can't hear anything. This first video is from Sir Cosmos. And 6 months ago, Sir Cosmos sent this video on Reddit, and it's of his young son who sprints into the room every time he hears Elite Dangerous.
Oh, cool.
And it's so cute. It just, every time he hears the game, he just like races in, like, I'm in.
As a child, all of that stuff coming at you.
Yeah.
Like,
And then, he just sits there like a businessman with his hands crossed on the desk, like, yeah, some other projections.
Yeah, see when you're doing, Dad.
Yeah, I understand. Could you sort out your pips, please? They don't look well organised.
Yeah, left, up and left, Dad. Up and
Yes,
left.
I'm going to need a python on my desk by the end of the day. But yeah, I love him. Such a cute little one, and we'd love to see a follow-up sometime. So Cosmos, if you're out there or somebody knows them, we'd like to see this little lad like next year and see how much he's grown and if he's flying his own spaceship. Yeah, such a sweet little lad. Oh, so good. This next video, so we're going to go full screen for this one, but this next one is from Commander Placid, who we mentioned earlier with his insane screenshots. This is a Elite Dangerous horror short. This is a horror film set in Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
We've only got a short clip because there's some naughty language in it, but check it out. It's called Void.
I am alone. Or am I? In this pure
never-ending darkness.
It's scary. I know
Dead
that,
eerie and
yeah, and it's sort of about the madness of being alone in space, in the void of space, and just he does it perfectly with all the blue and the cyan colours.
I'm definitely watching the rest
yeah,
of that.
I'll show you it later. It's fantastic. The voiceover is incredible as well. Really, really well done. This next video is from Commander Machine, who we haven't featured a ton, but I definitely love to because his videos tend to be longer form. This one I can't watch without crying, so I do apologise. This is, for me, the summation of the Elite Dangerous community, how kind and incredible and caring they are. And this is from his Dove Enigma series. Have a look.
Okay, here I come.
There he is. Woo! He whizzed past me. If you would like to align yourself next to me here, I'm right behind you. Hold on, I'm coming up. Set your eyes on these 2 rows of anacondas in front of you and enjoy, if I may say so. So, everyone in the anacondas, please fire your lasers.
Oh, wow.
Tilt your lasers, please.
That's cool.
Alright, Dove, I would like you to fly through that tunnel of lasers now to the megaship that has been placed for you in this game.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh wow. Oh, wow.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I did. That was incredible. And that was really incredible, guys. Thank you so much.
wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Such a nice kind of togetherness and really showing someone's worth and representing that.
Yeah, and just it's stunning, and Commander Machine really does know how to cut together a beautiful video, so do check out his channel. It's wonderful. Does a lot of things with Commander Ascorbius, and it's brilliant. It's really fantastic. Now, this next one, adding a little levity, is from Up Is Not Jump, who is one of my favourite YouTubers. Very funny gentleman, very cheeky gentleman, so I did have to cut a fairly short clip. Be careful, again, if you are using headphones. But his videos from his Games Are a Nightmare Because series, and it's not why games are bad, but it's why they're sometimes terrifying or why they're crazy and things like that. And this is just one of his best sum-ups of Elite Dangerous in VR.
And I'm not joking in the slightest. 35 hours in and this game still genuinely scares the life out of me. It's really relaxing here. Oxygen critical. What? Play this game in VR and you'll join me in my unconventional fear of the sun. Oh my god! Damn you, son! I can't say how true this is for the non-VR version of the game, as I haven't actually played it that much. But it seems to me that turning this game into such a convincing VR experience is a little bit sinister, because I am not trained to deal with this kind of psychological pressure.
I love him so much. Damn you, son! It's so good. He made that into a t-shirt and everything. It was brilliant. But yeah, check out his video. It's fantastic. He's done 2 on Elite Dangerous now, and he also he's a physics teacher. So he's done a set of videos about the galaxy and the actual science behind it, and he uses Elite Dangerous for those as well.
Cool.
As kind of, demonstrations.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
That's amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, if you're looking for his channel, it's just Up Is Not Jump on YouTube. And the last video, before we go on to the very next segment, well, actually, yeah, we're going to show later, which is Tokoso and Ghost Giraffe doing Let's Jump Together. But first, we're going to go to our honourable mentions, which is just a few things that I wanted to say. The first one is about Commander Memorials. So I don't want to hang on this too long. Or it's about manatees. That's fine too. Don't worry. We'll go with manatees first. So, some of you may remember the Manatee Megaship Initiative. This took part, well, the CG took place in September of 2018. To remember the CG's success and to raise awareness of manatees and, you know, they need to be conserved and things like that. The player group, oh gosh, it was... I've lost all my notes. Pilius Libertas, they adopted a manatee on our behalf. This is Crazy Nick.
Oh.
This is Crazy Nick. This is our manatee. He's pretty awesome. That's pretty much what there is to it. I love him.
Yeah.
It's just, we
Enough
received
said,
this
yeah.
package and
Yeah.
it was really strange. It was really strange. We were just like, why do we have a manatee? And then we read back through the letter they sent us and it was fantastic. It was just so much fun. What do we have coming up next, Will? The next bit, fair enough. So, right, yes. So we've got a few more bits. Now, apologies for getting that confused. Now I'm going to mention Commander Memorials. So, we just wanted to say 07 and thank you to every commander who has touched our hearts in the last 5 years, whether they are still here with us or they're not. We didn't want to call anyone out by name, but 5 years is a very long time. And those who flew with us but are gone are never forgotten. They have left their mark on the galaxy. It's going to be there forever, you know. And we are so happy and so proud that people chose to spend some time with us and that they've left their mark on other commanders. So thank you for being with us. And just we'll see you out in the black. We do have one that we do want to mention, though, which is Commander Tuvas. So when the Commander's update was added to Elite Dangerous, Commander Tuvas was able to use VR to stand next to his brother again. His brother had passed away, and then he created him in VR. And it's what you can see. He created him in VR and he wrote online on Reddit just, you know, how incredible it was to be able to see his brother again. And that I've kept that with me ever since I first saw this post. And it's wonderful. I just, you know, it's so lovely to have seen that it had that effect on somebody and that they were able to get this from it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That is really cool.
So yeah, so as I say, 07 to everyone who's been with us, everyone who's still with us, and everyone who sadly isn't any longer. But they will always be with us. So the last bit, before we get to the incredible video I mentioned earlier, is something that I always have, which is some co-paulets.
You're going to love this section, Danny.
A co-paulet is a pet that flies with you while you play Elite Dangerous. So we have a few here. So this one is Commander Karumba's cats, little baby kittens. They are so cute. I love them so much. So these little guys here. And then next we have, this one is Commander Disco Cat's cat. Oh no, wait, no, this is Little Nicky. This is Danger Vince's cat, Little Nicky. Little Nicky is very, very fluffy. I love her.
It's a great name for a cat.
Yeah, Little Nicky. This one is Poco. This is Disco Cat's cat, Poco. And I'm not even looking at my notes. I just have remembered Commander's pets' names. There you go. And then next, this one. This is Commander Karash's dog, Jake. Look at that pupper. Using HyperX, of course, because he's a very good boy.
I love him.
This is Commander Northlander 74's cat, Elska. And Elska, she's a very good Elite Dangerous kitty.
Yeah.
Very good girl. And then next, this is Clive. This is Commander Plater's cat, Clive.
Oh, this looks like a Maine Coon.
I believe it might be, yes. And these guys, I don't have their names written down, unfortunately. I don't know if I had them. But these are two little kittens that love to sit in front of the game. It's hilarious. I love them. They're so cute. Oh. And look, I believe this is Commander Speed Metal 8 90s dog Rex. Oh, look at Rex.
Oh, he's so confused. He's like, what are you doing?
Why am I still in the station? What a beautiful baby. And I believe that's all the co-paulets we have. So.
Best segment.
Danny's just going to walk out. I'm done. That's brilliant.
It's the only reason I came.
Now, before we get on to our video, because we're going to have that, first I'd like to say a massive thank you to every single one of our commanders. Every single one of you from the last 5 years, you've all been incredible. And the people that we've mentioned today, this is the tiniest smidge of you guys. We've seen so much kindness, so much brilliance, so many wonderful streams and videos, and there's way too much to mention, and it has been an honor being a community manager for you. So thank you so much, and we can't wait to see more, especially as 2020 comes up and the future of the game. So our last giveaway, and Stephen, would you mind getting the box? It's in front of the table here. Grab that. So, this one's a bit hefty. There you go, boys. So this is the T16000 FCS flight pack. So we have the HOTAS, and we have the
the hand showing
have
things.
The pedals as well. So if you want the chance to win this, gentlemen, what would you like them to say in the chat?
Since it's your first stream, Danny, what would you like them to say?
Beard.
Beard.
Exclamation mark
beard. And
there we go, guys. So yeah, exclamation mark beard.
It's a good wee setup, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It gives you everything you need to get going. So while we are collecting all of the entries for this giveaway, we are going to go to the music video from Ghost Giraffe and Toko. So this is Let's Jump Together, and we're going to play it in its entirety because it's stunning. See you soon.
There's a light in the night, and it won't go out. Now I found you. There's a heat so close that I never feel cold. Now I found you. I was alone, out in the dark. Then I saw hollow squares all around. Oh, now the calms call my name every night. Now I found you in the depths, gazing brightly at the neutron star. We share the field, scooping jet cones, leaping to the edges of the night. Oh, I was alone, out in the dark. And I saw hollow squares all around. Oh, I was alone, out in the dark. Heaven was all around. Oh, let's jump together.
I love that so much.
Such a
I
great
love
song.
that so much. I listen to it weekly. It's so good.
It's a really good song, and when that first came out, it totally threw me off. I didn't know like the talent was possible to bring tears to my eyes. I'm a bit of a robot, so it was quite lovely to see that.
Beep boop, and obviously Stephen just got changed. It's fine.
And turned into this
Became
fine commander.
Became a bit less Scottish. This is your English form.
I'm not going to offend our Scottish commanders out there by putting on an accent. So
no, please don't.
Stephen's just glaring at us from over there. It's fine.
So before we keep bantering people, we've got a giveaway to do.
It's mine.
And it's not yours. Danny, would you like to tell us who the winner of this fine setup is?
I would like to tell you who the winner is. The winner is Danny Spiteri, product manager at Frontier Development.
Nice.
No, I believe it's Laruski on Twitch.
It is. Laruski on Twitch. Congratulations, Commander. You have just won yourself a beautiful HOTAS and pedals set up.
I'm jealous. This thing looks incredible.
Yeah, no, I'm going to...
Yeah, let's put that away before
Let's just
Danny
put
gets
this
his
over
mitts
here.
over it.
That's better.
If it goes missing, wasn't me.
Okay, fine.
Congrats,
No,
Laruski.
gentlemen.
So what does Laruski
No.
need to do to get in touch?
Well, Laruski needs to email community@frontier.co.uk with, I won the HOTAS, not Danny or Will. And
Those words specifically.
Exactly those words. And there you go. We will get your prize sent out to you very soon, and you can set it all up and have some fun. But there we go, gentlemen. Oh,
Mammoth
I am
stream there,
pooped. I'm
Paige,
so tired now.
doing 2.5 hours of continuous chatter, and we had to rush things up at the start as well. So monumental stream. Bravo to you, Paige.
Thank you, but no, it's the community.
Let's hear it in the chat for Paige.
Yeah, little claps for
Very
Paige.
cute, very cute.
But it goes without saying that naturally 5 years wouldn't be here, wouldn't be able to show off all of this cool stuff, and it isn't even the tip of the iceberg. It's like the very first layer. It's the tip of the tip of the iceberg. So it is incredible that the community have come together over these years that before my time as well, and all these stories, the incredible legacy that we have, and all of those people. It's very easy for me to do a catch-all and go, yeah, all those people from years ago. But there are so many, and naturally we'd be here for 24 hours doing it if we wanted to go.
And the rest.
Yeah, and the rest to each and every one. So also a big bravo to the community who've joined us these last 5 years. Whether that's since the Kickstarter, whether that's a year, 2 years ago, whether it's a month ago, whether it's yesterday. We have so much more to bring, and it's a very exciting time. So we won't be going into that today, but we did want to take this as an opportunity to look back and say thank you to everyone and all those commanders who've flown with us. So I think that's all we have time for, Paige. Does that mean we have to close up the stream?
I think we do. I mean, the last thing I will say is we got that updated exploration stat that people were asking for.
We did, and we've actually got a lovely graphic for it, which you'll see shortly after this live stream.
Yes, so head over to our forum post that will be going live within the next hour or so.
Yeah, within the next hour,
Because got to finish putting the finishing touches on it. But we do have the updated, the last number we released was 0.036% of the galaxy have been explored in 5 years. That is a little bigger after.
Any guesses, folks? Any guesses what the
let us
percentage
know.
will be in the chat? Let
I think
us know.
I've actually remembered it, so.
Yeah,
yes.
I know. I've got it here.
Ooh.
Well, Jack, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's not wrong.
But
yes, so thank you everybody who's come to hang out with us
Yeah.
today. Congratulations to all of our prize winners. Lord Puriel must be a wizard. Or what is it? Why are these people so clever?
I don't know.
They've guessed it immediately.
Maybe they
Danny,
know.
what did you tell them?
Was I not supposed to tweet it?
Dang it, Danny.
We may have said it. I don't know.
We didn't say it. But no, seeing as they've said it, 0.042%. Consistent world, 0.042%. That is your updated statistic. And we have some more. So come along to the forum post. We're going to share some things. And we want to hear from you there. Your best memories, your favourite things. But for now, that is all from
That's
us.
all we have time for. So
That's all we have time for.
good big bye from us.
Yeah.
Good big bye.
Good big bye.
Good big bye.
Good
Good big bye from all of us.
And we'll see you next year.
Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.